Do I have music playing? I do. Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, Season 2, Episode 69. 2 empty chairs to begin, but there is a heated game going on at the moment between Boston and Miami, coming down to the wire. If you guys don't know, Jake is a big Boston Celtics guy. If you can't tell Andres, well, he doesn't exist. It's just Go Heat. So you can kind of tell what's going on there. That being said, don't be surprised if they're a little distracted to begin the show, but it's okay because we have to do our Rick and Roll anyways. Welcome, everyone, to Season 2, Episode 69 of the Nintendo Prime Podcast, which is technically also the final episode of not only Season 2, but of the Nintendo Prime Podcast as you know it. We will be rebooting as a new show, still a podcast, same time, every week. You don't got to worry about that. We're still going to have guests and everything. But it's going to be next week. The show is going to be formatted and very different and a lot shorter and yada, yada, yada. But there's other significant changes happening as well, such as today marks Jake's last episode. Now, we're not going to get too sentimental yet. We're not getting too sentimental yet. We have an entire segment about nothing but Jake. Don't get too bricked up, chat. Don't get too bricked up.
No, hey, get as bricked up as you want.
Yeah, I guess it is the last one, right? So get bricked up.
My audio's not echoing, right?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Sure, just randomly interrupt my Rick and Roll. I would have just muted your ass if it was a problem. Of course, that this is probably why they hate it.
That's why it's a 1.3 star app. Yeah.
Anyways, so we're gonna just go around the room. We'll talk more about the future of the show and other shit later. Let's get into how we have started every single episode of the Nintendo Prime Podcast for all time with what have we been playing lately. We'll start with our guest this week, N64 Josh. What have you been playing lately, man?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Well, a lot of Mario Kart as always. I literally stream Mario Kart every day, and we have a crazy the Kart Club over on TikTok, and it's a lot of fun. But I also busted out a very old school from the new Super Mario Brothers game on the DS, Wanted. You guys remember this? Where it was it's like Where's Waldo, and there's a timer. Like you just got to grab you have to tap the face. Anyway, it goes crazy on TikTok. Like in an hour stream yesterday, we had 8,000 people come through. And people just go they're like, oh my God, this is my childhood. So that a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom still. I'm going very slow through that. And Berserk Boy, the indie game, been checking that one out as well. So
all right, man. Sounds pretty awesome. Oh, by the way, want to let everyone know who the hell you are, because I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Know who you are?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I host another Nintendo podcast called the Nintendo Powercast. I also do a Mario Kart show called The Dirt. I've been in the content game a very, very long time, and I stream. Like I said, I stream mostly on TikTok now, and we do Mario Kart like 7 days a week. I did we do a Mario Kart tournament on Sundays, and that's kind of me in a nutshell at the moment. Like we've done everything from Smash Bros podcast to Animal Crossing, like anything Nintendo. I'm kind of all about it. So, and
you want to see me in a nutshell? Oh no, help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get in a nutshell? What the heck?
What is happening?
All right, sorry.
Awesome. All right, Eric, what have you been playing lately, man?
I haven't really played a whole lot lately. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I haven't played anything. I don't think since last week.
So you didn't touch your new computer?
Oh, I guess I have played some AoE 4.
There you go. New PC. It's a video game.
I know.
What you play lately? It doesn't have to just be Switch.
I know. I've been enjoying my new monitor and PC, so that thing is freaking amazing.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
Especially the monitor. I got the PC. I got a nice monitor. He somehow has a better one.
You got the freaking projector now, though.
Well, it doesn't look nice yet.
Not
gotta
yet.
Paint the wall.
I know. But
anyways, that being said, what else? I guess we can go to Jake. You ready to tell people what you've been playing lately, or has it just been with yourself?
I don't know what you mean by that, but
Something that gets me bricked up at night.
I've actually gone back to a game that I really fell in love with a couple years ago. I remember when it came out, it was getting a lot of hype, and I didn't think I would like it that much, but like people were talking about it so much, I finally was like, all right, I'm gonna play this game for a couple hours. Had no intention of playing it more than that, just so I could get a feel for it. And the day I decided to do that, I played it 15 hours straight and like barely taking breaks for like food and water and stuff. And I haven't done that with a game. That was probably the only time in like the last at least 5 years. So that isn't a regular occurrence for me at all, especially with a game I'm not expecting to play. So last night I fired it up and just did a complete blank save file and started playing Hades again. And I love that game.
Nice, man.
Last week I'd been playing Dead Cells, and it's also a roguelike game. I really like those games a lot. I like Returnal a lot. So yeah, it's been really fun. I highly recommend it.
Nice. Let me see. I'll go next. I know Andres is deeply involved in his watch session of the Miami Heat Boston game.
I'm here.
I know you're here. but I'll go next. So guys, I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires myself, obviously with the new PC. You guys know all about that already. Also been playing a smidge of World of Warcraft, just a little bit. I always go back to it here and there just for fun. And there's a new X-Pack coming out that I pre-bought, so I'll probably play that when that comes out. Probably November. There's no release date yet. I also tried out Grounded for a little bit on Switch. I didn't play as much of it as I hoped to play over the weekend because I just had a very busy weekend. But I did get about an hour into Grounded on Switch, and I've never played Grounded before, so I don't have all these graphic expectations of like what the game should look like or supposed to look like via Xbox and PC. So for me, it was actually a pretty decent experience, especially when you're just playing on the small screen. I have yet to play it in docked mode, which I could tell by looking at it. It probably wouldn't look very good in dock mode, but it's fine on the portable mode. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to play more of that game over the next week and maybe have more to say on it potentially in a future episode, even though we're kind of going to be eliminating this section of the show. It doesn't mean that I won't bring up a topic someday that might involve me getting to talk about, say, Microsoft games coming to Switch and get to talk about my experience with one of them. That being said, is there anything else I really played? I don't think so. I think that was kind of my batch of games this week, were those 3 games. Mr. Go Heat, drinking the nice cup of water in a nice cup, like the fancy glass cup too.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
So last night I finally finished Elden Ring. Pretty good. I liked it.
Well, clearly you finished it. It had to be pretty good for you to go all the way.
Well, yeah. So I actually got to the final boss a while back, but I was like, no. I gotta beat every shard bearer first. So I made sure to beat all the bosses in the game and explore it fully and enjoy it fully. So I did that. I beat Melania last night. I beat the final boss last night. It was a good time. I liked it, and now I understand the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer. Like I now know what it's referencing. I'm like, oh, all right, that's pretty cool. All right, cool. I was wondering where Mikola was, so now I'm on that hype train. So that's exciting. But before bed, what I used to put myself to sleep was I finally started up the demo for Europa, and I think it's pretty good. Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I'm kind of excited to learn more about a release date. I just saw that my Heat scored a 3-pointer, so that's amazing. Sorry, Jake, but yeah, it's a good game. I think I should try it out.
Cool.
Like talking a little bit more about it, like. It kind of looks a little bit like Breath of the Wild, a little bit, but there's some interesting story going on, and there's a lot of gliding and kind of vaulting. It's a cool little thing what I've played so far. So I'm excited to give it more of a try.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I haven't tried the demo yet. I've just heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like some of the animations and the cutscenes, but I have no idea. It's an indie game.
Like, it's an indie game. I don't know. It's an indie game, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm actually impressed that it measures up somewhat well to some other bigger world games.
Sure.
Yeah, considering what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just hop right into our first topic. Don't worry, we got some Nintendo stuff coming later in the show, and maybe I don't know bonus topics if anyone wants to bring it up. Beats the hell out of me. I just sort of threw that in there, but. What I do want to do here is talk, or mostly we're going to probably let Jake take the floor. You guys have a lot of questions, which of course you do. I've been refusing to answer them literally since I put this episode up that noted it's Jake's final episode. I wasn't going to answer questions. I thought it was best for you to hear from Jake. Doesn't matter what I know. It matters what he has to say. So yes, folks, this is, for me, unfortunately, Jake Randall's last episode of the Nintendo Prime podcast for now. Talk about that later. But let's, Jake, why don't you take the floor? This is about you. What's going
on? Honestly, guys, basically since the start of the year, I'd say like starting in January 2024, my life got a lot busier and fitting the podcast in every week got a lot more difficult. I know there was a couple weeks I wasn't here. There's been a lot of weeks where I've like just haven't been myself really. I haven't been like as talkative, and it's just because I've felt really tired. And in the past, like before January, I would always have like a lot of caffeine and stuff and get fired up for the podcast. And this year I haven't been able to do that because I have to get up really early on Thursdays. And so every day before the podcast, I've actually been working at my friend's bakery. I just do it 2 days a week to just kind of have some normal, a routine in my life. And so that's been going on the whole time I've been on the podcast. So that already tires me out a lot because I close the bakery for him every single Wednesday. And so when I wasn't able to like get caffeinated and I started adding more to my schedule, it became so hard for me to do the podcast. And it's been tough. And then I would get like that guilt the next day where I was like, I don't think I did a good job. I think I was overtired. I think I was short with people or had like a temper sometimes. And I would just beat myself up about it all week. And then the next week would come so fast and I'd be so stressed out about it. And I felt like I didn't fit in on the podcast anymore. And I would notice like, you guys are amazing. You guys have always been so supportive of me, but like every now and then there'd be someone that was like, wow, like Jake isn't letting anyone else talk, or like, oh, Jake isn't talking at all tonight. And I was just like, I had found such a hard time trying to find my place and find like a balance. Cause like, I'd like listen to that and I'm like, okay, I'm interrupting people. So I'm going to just be quiet. But then I would never know when it was okay for me to talk. And then like, sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to contribute to the conversation. I'm going to try to talk. And I just didn't know how to do it on a podcast with so many people, like in an appropriate way where I wasn't talking over people. And I just got like so in my head about it. And it was just like stressing me out and it was tough. And I realized basically that I was just burnt out and I needed time. And I really love this podcast. And when I first started doing it, I was in like a really tough place in my life. And I had stopped making my own YouTube content and I needed some changes. And that's when I started working at my friend's bakery. And then that's when I started this podcast, and it really got me out of that dark place. And it's funny because in January, I started not being able to fit the podcast in, but I actually started to find my own happiness again. And my life has actually been really awesome. It's just been really tough to do the podcast on top of it. And there's like some weeks where it's great. And I really want to continue to be a guest on here sometimes. But like to do it every week, I just realized I can't do that for a while. I need some time to myself. Just like, I needed to stop doing my own YouTube stuff. And it's not like working at the bakery was the problem. Because like I said, I've always worked at the bakery before the podcast, ever like since I joined. So it's just been like that. And I don't know. I can tell that like it hasn't been fun for me anymore, and that feels bad. Like I feel guilty that like I'm not having fun. And it's like it's nothing wrong with like you guys. It's just me. It's just like I put too much on my plate and I need a little bit of a break, but I want to come back on the podcast as a guest. I want to come back and hang out. And then like those streams are going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to them because I'll be rested and then like it'll be such a treat for me to be on the podcast and I'll be so excited and have so much fun. And that's all I want. So I know it sucks that I'm not going to be here every week, but I'm sure I'll tune in a bunch. And I love you guys so much. Like, the best part of the podcast for sure has been the chat. Like, I love you guys so much. You guys are so funny. Like, I would hang out with like any of you guys in real life. I feel like we're hanging out every week, and that has been what's kept me here for so long. I probably would have left a long time ago, but like I felt like I almost like owed it to you guys a little bit, and I wanted to be here for you, and like I just appreciate everything you guys have done for me so much. So I guess that's kind of in a nutshell. It's like a bunch of different things. I hadn't really thought about how I was going to articulate this coming into tonight.
yeah.
I thought I would just let
Let
it
it
fly
flow.
off the cuff.
Mhm.
But I hopefully that wasn't too convoluted, and that gives you kind of an idea of where I'm at. And I mean, the big takeaway here, it's my birthday in like 5 days.
Woo!
So it's kind of like a birthday stream as well, episode 69. So I'm gonna have fun, you know, like I'm gonna tell you guys this. I'm happy to answer any questions. But like when we get to the next topic or whatever, like I'm just gonna be bricked up, gonna be not keeping it clean, and just enjoying this final stream. And I did have a bunch of caffeine before the stream started tonight because I was like, all right, this is the
Give
last
one last
one.
fire
It's worth
show.
it if I'm a little burnt out, you know, tomorrow.
Sure.
If I, you know,
Yeah, you don't got to worry about it next week. So
yeah. And I mean, Nate, you dedicated the podcast to me. I mean, I haven't talked about my co-hosts here yet, but like Andres, Eric, Nate, like I love you guys. Josh, it's a pleasure to meet you tonight. Don't want to leave you out. But no, you guys are awesome. You always like make me feel included. Like I definitely could not have stayed on this podcast as long as I did if I didn't love you guys too.
Baby, come
Like,
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can blame it all on
exactly.
him. I mean,
So I don't know. I don't want to like just spend this whole time talking or whatever, but I just want to make sure I kind of get out everything in terms of questions people might have, and just let you guys know that I love it here. And like the moral of the story is my life is really happy right now. I feel like I'm in a new chapter. I've had a really good time working at my friend's bakery, even though it's a couple days a week. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now that I'm really happy with. I want to come back to YouTube one day, but it's really tough to do that when like I found something that makes me really happy.
yeah,
And I'm just going to ride that out as long as I can. And I want to continue doing what I'm doing, but also put YouTube on top of it and have more stuff.
yeah, it's a balance. You figure that out over time.
It's a balance. And I think I just need to acclimate to all the new stuff and then take it slow, because a lot of stuff happened at once. And typically I have a hard time unless I only add one new thing every couple weeks. So I just got to balance all the new stuff, and then I can slowly start adding again. So that's the plan.
Yeah. And just to finally quelch the rumors that have been percolating the last few weeks, it has nothing to do with Jake and I going at each other for a smidge a few episodes ago. This has been percolating all year, as he noted.
Yeah.
And Jake and I are cool.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah, of course we are.
literally there was no animosity. We literally talked after the show, sent each other some heartfelt messages and warm feelings, what we're feeling about everything.
Got me bricked up.
And everything's good. Like Jake's like another brother to me, man. Like
Yeah.
I told him as you know, we're finishing off season 2, and obviously he's welcome back on the show anytime he wanted. He talked about potentially at some point committing to once a month, sort of like Saffron City TV guys. You know, she comes on once a month. We'll see if it ends up being once a month or if it ends up being every other. Right now, it's just going to be a while because he needs to enjoy his life and get all that stuff kind of situated in that way, and then find out how he can fit anything else that he might want to fit in around it. And if that means he never comes back on the show, that's entirely okay too. There's no guarantees of anything. But what I will say is, first off, I personally want to thank you, Jake, because you made a big difference in my life. I know you and I had some pretty deep conversations when I went to PAX last year. Keep that between us. But I have a comfort level with you that I really only ever had with this guy over here, Eric, where I could just like tell you anything going on and you're not going to judge me for it. You're not going to look down on me for it. You're just going to be a good friend. And it's very hard to find people that are like that in this world. So first off, thank you just on a personal level, because obviously over the last year from PAX East onwards, we obviously got pretty close as friends. And then besides that, I keep telling, I've been telling you for a long time, because you've obviously been thinking about this. Sort of, I keep reminding you, hey, you do mean a lot to me. You mean a lot to the show. You add to the show, and you didn't feel like you did. And I just want to note, and I'm sure the chat agrees, you definitely added a lot to the show over the last year. You stepped in at a time I didn't know you were going to step in every week at the time that it happened, and it was right when we lost another person who was a full-time member at the time, and you just like naturally slid in and brought like a whole new vibe and energy to the show for season 2 that ended up, in my opinion, really formulating the entire season. You were on more episodes than Eric. I went back and looked. Eric has missed more episodes than you. So you've been a huge part of the show, and I just want to express my gratitude. And just my favorite memories. Like there were, do you remember the one show when you got up on the chair and you had to show everyone how to get down, get dirty, get nasty? Yeah,
Yes.
that was one of my favorite podcast moments of season 2. So a little Jake Randall special for you guys.
Yes. When I sit on this chair and then pelvic thrusted into the camera.
Yeah, it was quite the show.
Are there clips of this somewhere?
But the whole show's up somewhere. I don't know if anyone. There's probably
I don't remember what episode it was. It wasn't that long ago, actually. That one.
It was like a month ago,
like
or
last
something.
month or something.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that. I do appreciate the humor you brought. And honestly, one of the things that I liked was some of your expertise in things that obviously I don't know a lot about, like PlayStation and other things. When they would come up in conversations, Pokemon is an example. Having someone besides Andres Restart who knows things about Pokemon, I mean, that's invaluable. Thankfully, we have Saffron City TV coming on once a month, so for Pokemon conversations, we at least can plan that ahead of time. But and that's the thing too. You guys might not realize this. Jake Randall is literally why Saffron City TV is on our podcast every month. He got her. It was his find. He found her to bring her onto the show. And he's done this before too. Review Tech USA, when he came back on last October, that was thanks to Jake. Jake got Review Tech USA to come on. Review Tech USA still to this day doesn't respond to me. So he did it for Jake, which was awesome. He also got Madison to come on the one time, and she's planning to make more appearances now as she's lighting the internet on fire.
Yeah, it's blown up.
Yeah.
she's lighting the internet on fire because it's kind of hilarious. I won't get into it, but it is just it's been a pleasure to have you on this last year. I look forward to hopefully having you on again someday.
Of course.
I'm getting a little emotional because I'm gonna miss you, man.
Maybe next week.
Eric.
Well, I mean, Nate, I just want to say, like, I mean, a lot of people noticed, and I will say, like, everyone that gives me love every week, when I was having those moments where I was like overtired and I was kind of like my temper was short and I was, whatever. A lot of you guys were giving me a lot of grace and just being like, hey, he's not normally like this. There's got to be something going on. And it was just like a tipping point. It was like I wasn't feeling like myself. I wasn't feeling like I fit in. And it was like every single week. And then like little things start to pop.
Let's give it a moment.
And then like I would just be feeling.
Give it a moment. He'll come back.
Baby, come back.
Come back.
There
to
we go.
me. Baby, come back.
Yeah, oh boy.
Did the Heat win? Is
Yeah.
it over yet? See, that's what happened. The Heat have won, and now his internet's just going like, nope. Boston internet's going crazy right now.
I'm trying not to rub it in. It's his show tonight.
There is.
There you go.
Congrats
now you're good.
on the win, Andres.
Yeah, now you're good, Jake.
Okay. All right. All right. Every time I talk, it goes away. So I'm just making sure. All right. No, but I just want to say, like, the chat gave me a lot of grace. You gave me a lot of grace. And, basically what happened is, like, it was, like, the one thing that, like, set me off. Like, everything was piled on. And then it was, like, one thing's too many. And I just, like, broke. And that started happening multiple times. And that's when I kind of came to the realization I needed the break. And, like I said, you and I talked through it, Nate. And I really appreciate that a lot. And I appreciate the chat a lot. I didn't really even say any of this or defend myself, and you guys were just like, you gave me grace anyways. You you knew me and you knew it was probably something else going on, and that meant a lot to me. So I appreciate that a lot.
Shout out to the chat. Eric, got anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, I loved having you on. It's been great getting, to be more closer friends, with you over the last, how long since, we first met and stuff like that. I really wish I didn't take the pain meds in Boston and actually got to hang out with you guys. But I'm on blood thinners and I took the wrong pain meds because I had to. And it wiped me out. So so I really wish we would have been able to hang out a little bit more. I mean, I don't know if you have my phone number or not, but Nate can give it to you if you ever need anything. I'm here for you.
Appreciate you. I'm not dying.
I know
still be
you're
around.
not. I know you're not, but it's one of those things that it'd be nice to actually, talk a little bit more.
Not go through me to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Andres, got anything you want to say?
Yeah. I think you're a cool dude.
He's
Nah,
too
man.
happy over the Miami win right now.
No, man. I just first off, about relating to the series, I still, as a Heat fan, I still think you guys have the upper hand. Until we win the next 2 home games, I think you guys are probably still going to win the series. Just saying. That aside, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little sad that you're going away, but I hope to see you soon, and we're still friends, right? We have each other's numbers, so feel free to hit me up whenever. And
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to when we can get an event going.
Mhm.
We couldn't do PAX this time, but maybe we can still put something together for later this year. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And also, reminder: the other day when I texted you about that idea, that was not a joke.
Okay.
That was not a joke. You just gave me a laughing emoji, but I was being dead serious. We are doing that.
Is it a debate thing?
No,
Okay.
no, it's worse.
It's
No,
it's worse.
It's much worse. Unless
much
you don't want to do
worse.
it, Jake. That's all right.
All right. I just put the bakery in the chat for people that were asking about it.
Absolutely.
It's called Crosby's, and like one of my best friends owns it with his wife. She used to work there like when she was like pretty young, and she worked there for a long time, and then they were gonna sell it. It's been around like 75 years, and then so they bought it. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels, one of my favorite things about the bakery is that like it feels good to like have a job where I'm not just like by myself all the time, like with YouTube. Where I'm working with other people, but it's not like for some corporation.
Mhm.
It's like actually for my friend who's like, getting the
Very
profits and stuff like that. So that feels really good. And everyone at the bakery is really awesome. I've made a lot of new friends there, and like I said, I'm just really happy, and like I feel like I have a place there, and it just feels really good.
Okay.
No,
Nice.
yeah, I think that's awesome. It is a challenge of being a content creator, right? You're by yourself, and that's it's not always good for your mental health. So like content creators in general, or anyone working from home, right? As we kind of progress, because I feel like that's a trend in our culture now with working from home. We have to do a better job of, getting outside and socializing. And it's interesting, right? Because working from home, we have more autonomy, right? You could argue we have more freedom, but there are more challenges as well, and that is one of them. So I'm glad that you at least have that going. And also, I'd like to eat the food at the bakery.
Yeah.
Big bakery guy.
I wish I could. diet. But no, I think the biggest thing that makes it me take this a little easier is knowing you're happy with your life.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing for me is I just want everyone to find something that makes them happy in life.
Yeah.
And I've known you for a long time, and a lot of the conversations we've had are about some very dark stuff. And it makes me so happy to see that you are in a better place, because I know it wasn't a good place when you joined the show, and the show helped you that one time per week have a really nice time for a bit. And now you don't need that, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Like that's my biggest takeaway, is that you don't need it anymore.
Well, that was my other thing, is like I felt like so guilty, like back in January and February when I was like getting burnt out for like wanting to leave the show, like when it helped me so much, and it's like, oh, okay, now I'm good and I'm just gonna like abandon you guys, and that like felt really awful. And I know you don't see it that way, but I saw it that way. And so I kept going because I felt this obligation, and I was pushing myself in a way I probably shouldn't have been. But I'm I can't take back. I probably should have stopped sooner, but I don't regret that I kept going as long as I did, because I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm not like burnt out beyond repair, and so I would have wanted to go as long as I could. And
you got to make it to episode 69. It's the
Yeah,
only
exactly.
one that matters. We've been
Yeah.
talking about this for months. Episode 69. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to be missed. I think I can say that for everyone who's ever been on the show with you. Obviously, I had a plan at one point to try to get everyone who's ever done a show with you in the last year, and was very difficult to coordinate. So I was like, oh, it's okay. I won't go that nuts. That's too many guys.
If the chat wants to do anything to help me out, feel free. That link I posted, it's Crosby's Bakery in Nashua, New Hampshire. Feel free to reach out, send them an email, and tell them that you want Daddy Jake's cream pies added to the menu.
That would be great.
That would be great.
By the way, if it ever gets added to the
single
menu,
mom
I
get a
expect
free
at
Daddy
least,
Jake cream pie.
yeah,
Right.
I expect if that ever gets added to the menu, an image of you holding one of your cream pies.
Uh-huh.
Now I
don't know if
have to
I don't know if that's
visit.
allowed.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
right?
to visit to get
Like,
some of those cream
we
pies.
might have to go to PAX East next year just to get the cream pies.
Or
Just an idea.
what
Just
if
an
we were to
idea.
bring the cream pies to PAX? Was it in Australia now? Or is
Oh,
it-
PAX Australia. Yeah, that's the next one. The next one's in Australia.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got
just bring
PAX
those
West.
things all the way across the
Yeah.
world. Yeah, you want to bring Daddy Jake cream pies out to PAX West? I mean,
Is PAX
They'll
West
fill
for
you-
sure gonna
They'll
happen?
fill you up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Are you
I
sure
was,
that fill you
no,
in?
I was confusing with Nintendo Live. I think Nintendo Live was
Nintendo
confirmed.
Live is in Australia.
Yeah.
You won't be able to keep it all down.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, man, I'm gonna miss you. I'm sure a lot of the chat's gonna miss you as well. But I want to thank you so much for the energy you added to the show. It's funny too because before you were on, people were always like sometimes afraid to swear and afraid to say like dumb adult joke shit, and I'm like, dude, this happens on my other live streams all the time when I'm doing shots and drinking and crazy shit's happening all the time. Never happens on the podcast. I never told anyone it can't happen on the podcast. It just doesn't. And Jake's like, fuck that.
Well, I think
breaks
that like
up.
just like anytime it's like Nintendo based, which you know what I mean. I think people just go off that, like they wouldn't, because Nintendo.
Yeah, no, I don't expect my guests to do
like
it.
any like
I'm
Nintendo would never
disappointed in
allow that.
myself.
Yeah, they don't know what angle you're necessarily going for. I think sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's a whole family-friendly thing, but there's also just kind of like I think in general for podcasts, people kind of assume there's going to be like an air of professionalism, and there is an air, but there's also other wafts going on with the bricking and such. So
With the breaking.
yeah,
And as I said, like the show being rebooted next week does represent a new era. Where things are going to feel a little bit more professional in some ways, but we're not going to forget to have fun and razz each other and have a good time. So it's going to be good stuff, and I can't wait. I'll get more into details of that towards the end of the show. But let's get to our next topic, and we'll have to let N64 Josh have a say on some of this stuff because now we get to something he can actually talk about. He's got experience with. Sorry.
Well, before hold on.
Sorry, I just met you, Jake.
What
Sorry.
do you make of Jake? What do you make of his beautiful face? That's okay.
Yes. What are you doing? I was trying not to put him on the spot.
Don't force yourself.
Yeah. I'm the king of awkward, so
Take a screenshot. It'll last longer.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk later.
Let's talk about
that was like
Was there a
ideal.
wink in there? Wait a second.
10
This
out of
is a
10
post-stream event. happening.
response. All right, we
We
can
can-
move on now.
Yeah, I think it's time to move on. Thanks, Andres. I was trying to be smoother about this. So our next topic is dealing with some things that have come up about Nintendo in the last week. One of them actually just happened today. One of them is actually from a while ago, but we got official word today from the former lead creative director on Fortnite through a email. So we have two things. I'm going to bring them both up, and then Josh can choose whichever one he decides to go after, maybe both. So one, we became aware thanks to a report on GameFile with an interview with the former lead director of Fortnite that Nintendo was actually really cool with Samus and other Nintendo characters being added into Fortnite as skins. They had actually no problem with it. But they were going to require, like they did with Rocket League and Minecraft, that these skins would only be available on Nintendo system and you wouldn't be able to buy them or get them on other platforms. And Rocket League was even weird because you couldn't even look at them if people had them equipped. If you were playing on another platform, they would just appear as something else entirely, which I don't know. Like that's a really weird requirement. It doesn't sound like Nintendo was maybe requiring that to be the case with Fortnite. I don't know. Fortnite's really big, by the way. And Epic Games did not want to bend the knee to Nintendo. I know a lot of people think that, well, Epic Games should bend the knee to Nintendo. Epic Games might have more money than Nintendo. Now, I just want to be clear here. They make Unreal Engine, which is a really big deal in the industry. Oh, and by the way, Fortnite has 200 million active players every month. So, like, they're rolling in the bank. And there's a lot of animosity in there because some people just hate Fortnite. So that's a whole thing. People are going back and forth on that. And then the other thing, and this is something that people are getting really angry about today because it's existed for so long and Nintendo never did anything about it. Gary's Mod over on Steam. It's existed, it came out like 2006. It's been around a hell of a long time. Well, they put out some words today in an update about Nintendo content. And Nintendo content, by the way, has existed in the game, completely created by the fans, because that's the kind of thing Gary's Mod is. You can make your own content. Has existed in the game pretty much since it came out. And it says, some of you may have noticed that certain Nintendo-related workshop items have recently been taken down. This is not a mistake. The takedown came from Nintendo. This is the people behind the game. They put up the post on Steam. Honestly, this is fair enough. This is Nintendo's content, and what they allow and don't allow is up to them. They don't want you playing with that stuff in Gary's Mod. That's their decision, and we have to respect that and take down as much as we can. This is an ongoing process as we have 20 years. That's how long this has been going on, of uploads to go through. 20 years. People have been adding Nintendo content to this game, and just now Nintendo's doing something about it. If you want to help us by deleting your Nintendo-related uploads and never uploading them again, that would help a lot. So that is something that literally just happened today. So Nintendo deciding after 20 years, we're not going to allow this stuff to exist anymore, which is wild because, again, I don't really know how it ever hurt Nintendo in the last 20 years, but this is the way Nintendo is. They're very stingy with their IP. So that's why I kind of felt like the stories are tangentially related based on their stinginess.
Sure. No, I think it's related. I'm not familiar with Gary's Mod. What is it exactly? Has anyone played it here?
I've never played Gary's Mod.
Does
Eric will give it. Does anyone else here play Gary's Mod? Eric's
Clearly
doing a
isn't.
little research on it quick. It's been a pretty big deal on Steam for a long time.
Chat. Any quick explanations on what it might be? I ask, right? The reason why I think it may be relevant because I'm just trying to think of why this they just started to do this. It could just be because, right? Like that's maybe the most likely reason.
It is literally just a sandbox. It's a physics sandbox. There aren't any predefined aims or goals. We just give you the tools and leave you to play.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like Roblox? Is that I don't
know. But fans create their own content and stuff. And,
sure. Okay, cool. I mean,
that's why they said, but hey, we hope the community will help us here because Nintendo's making us take it down. Can you please take down your shit?
It's interesting. I guess but what I'm trying to get at though, right, is because I talked about a little bit of the Fortnite thing, but it was mostly about just how overprotective Nintendo is. And when looking at some examples of like Nintendo issuing takedowns, there was something about a lot of them where something happened not too long afterwards, right? Like there was the Zelda Dungeon Maker that had to be they had to take out all the Zelda assets and change it to Legend Maker, and then a few years later, what did we get? We got Dungeon Maker and Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah,
we look at AM2R, which is a remake of Metroid 2. What happened a year later? Metroid Samus Returns came out, right? So, I'm kind of curious, is it possible that the reason why whatever this Gary's mod is being taken down now is somehow related to something Nintendo has coming down the pipeline. I'm going to assume no, right? Because I feel like the answer is more likely just it got on their radar for some reason. They decided to take it down now. But sometimes these takedowns, I feel like, are somewhat related to something that could come not too long down the road.
Sure. All right, N64 Josh, those were the two stories. Pick and choose, talk both. What do you want to do?
Yeah, for sure. Like it kind of boggles my mind thinking about Samus and Fortnite and like what that could have meant for Metroid. Right? And I mean at the end of the day it has to all boil down to they wouldn't have seen I'm assuming, right? I don't know how how Epic divides the funds depending, like if you buy Master Chief when you're playing on your PlayStation or your Switch, does Xbox see anything or Microsoft see any of that money? I don't know, but I'm assuming that if they bought the skin outside of the Nintendo ecosystem, they may not have seen any of that money, and so they didn't want them. They didn't want that happening. And as people that like basically live in the gaming space, where like we're like, oh, who doesn't know about Metroid? There's a lot of people playing Fortnite that have no idea what Metroid is or who Samus is, right? Like it would have been
a lot of people playing on other consoles that don't know in general. Never heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the sales and that is the case, right? And I remember playing Rocket League on the Switch and hearing the Mario jump sound when you jump with the car and looking like Mario and Luigi and even Samus and everything, and then playing against somebody on their Xbox and they're like, you look just like a normal car, and I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I don't like it's cool that I'm seeing it, but like if nobody else is, that was kind of the that was kind of the fun of all of it, like Nintendo was getting their IP out there and everybody was just seeing a standard vehicle and not hearing the jump sounds. It just, I don't know, it kind of took all the fun out of it. And as huge as Fortnite is, it just it seems like a fumble, honestly. And it probably has to go all the way back to Japan and the way they view these things and the way they hang onto the IP so tightly. I just wish they would follow suit at times a little, like what Xbox does and what PlayStation does especially when it comes to Fortnite. Like, love it or hate it, it's still like massively popular, and there are a lot of people. It blows my mind, but I have people in my Discords or in my chats and stuff telling me all the time they play Fortnite on their Switch. Like as rough as that is, that's what they do. And I think for marketing, like the money they would have potentially lost from buying Samus on the Xbox, if this is the way it goes. I'm speaking generally. I think they could have potentially made up for going, who is this cool looking character? Maybe have her helmet also come off, like have the little, like the Metroid as a back bling. Like there's just, I'm picturing so many different cool things that probably would have had people curious on who this character is. Where did she come from?
Imagine this. See, because like there's a little bit of customized, a little bit of some work that each of these characters get. Like imagine if like they had like an animation where you would see Samus's little, like a baby Metroid following her around. Because I think some of the characters get like a backpack item. Like how cool would that be? That would be so cool. People would wonder, oh, why is there like a little creature? Like, it gives you a little bit of intrigue about the story of Metroid, right? Like, and I kind of feel you. I'm on your side of this, right? But like, when I made my video, I knew there would be a little bit of, debate, but like, I was surprised at how vocal people were in the comments that disagreed with me. Like, oh, hell no, we don't want Metroid in Fortnite.
People hate Fortnite.
And I just don't see.
Well, I disagree that people hate Fortnite. I think older gamers that don't like microtransactions and don't like what Fortnite represents hate Fortnite, but it's basically the most popular game there is. The thing is, like, everyone that's like all kids, like if you're like 5 to like 18, you're playing Fortnite.
Yep, my kids play it.
Exactly. And that's like the main game. So like think about the games that we played when we were kids that we still love to this day. That's what Fortnite is to like an entire generation. So to not let them put Metroid in Fortnite and have it on all platforms, I agree that it's a fumble, because look at like what Nintendo themselves have done with Smash Brothers. And whenever they add a new character to that, all of the interest that gets put into that character's games, like a lot of like Fire Emblem, for example, but a lot of different video game franchises have had resurgences because they're added to Smash. And Fortnite honestly destroys Smash in terms of player count and popularity, even though like among like a certain section of gamers that a lot of people watching right now and a lot of us fall in don't like Fortnite, whatever. Doesn't matter what we think. Like the younger audience, that's the game. And so like Metroid already has a hard time when it comes to sales. Like adding it to Fortnite would give more of a boost to sales than anything that's ever been added to Smash. Like that would be a huge deal. And it would get extra headlines because it's the first and only Nintendo IP added to Fortnite. And it would only help them. But then I think Nintendo is just afraid to set a precedent or like even make one exception to add something that would be seeable or playable on platforms that aren't owned by Nintendo. You know, in the past when they've done it, like when they added like Link to Soul Calibur, it's only the GameCube version. It's always only on Nintendo systems. But like I think they really need to rethink that. Like Samus fits in the Fortnite so much, and the fact that you have Zero Suit Samus and like her full body suit, like you can already do multiple suits and charge for all of them. And like honestly, Fortnite, give like Nintendo like a sweetheart deal. Give them the majority of the profit for all the skins. You know what I mean? And Nintendo is going to be making so much money, even if it doesn't boost the Metroid sales, which it would, because a lot of these kids haven't played any Metroid Prime game because they weren't alive when Metroid Prime came out, and when any of them came out. So that would get them interested in playing Metroid Prime 4 when they realize, oh, it's like a first-person shoot. It's like a shooter game. It's almost kind of like Fortnite. That would boost it even more. I feel like it makes so much sense. But classic Nintendo's like mindset and like belief structure on how they do stuff is preventing them from making a deal that makes sense and should be an exception they allow. I'm not saying they have to, you know, just because they do this one thing doesn't mean they have to rethink everything going forward ever. They can still be as stingy as they've always been. But this, like from a business sense, makes so much sense for them that like I think it's a huge fumble.
You think about brands like the Ninja Turtles, right? Like I know they've had, you know, shows through the years, but like, you know, they had to have got some kind of push, like some bump in popularity. I mean, and I'm a Fortnite, you know, battle pass, like the crew member or whatever, the crew pass or whatever. Like I pay them monthly. Sometimes I don't even play. It takes 2 months to even jump back in, but like I love everything about that game. Like, and it is something that I will, when I jump in, my son will want to jump in with me. He's never touched Metroid.
Not to interrupt you, but I just want to let you know that I hated Fortnite for years, and then I started playing it with friends, and I got really into it. So I also see its merits, and I think it's great.
It's one of those games, honestly, if you struggle with shooters, they put so many bots in there that you can feel like you're really good. So
yeah,
like,
that's why it's awesome, because like they do really good with the matchmaking based on skill level.
Yep. Yeah. And
there's
so that makes it great.
They can do
You
that.
get a victory royale. You get a victory royale. You get a victory royale.
And if you don't get one,
if
you feel like you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of what got me addicted. My first ever solo, I got a victory royale, and then of course I realized, I was unranked basically. I had never played, so pretty much everyone gets a victory royale their first time because it's all bots.
But it builds up your confidence.
It gives you that, yeah.
I just saw a TikTok video of this little kid who was in tears telling his mom about his first victory royale, right? Like, and what's funny is the first time I had like where like I had a semi-emotional experience with gaming was Super Metroid. Like the very end of that game, I was like, yo, there's not dialogue, there's not text on the screen, but like that thing just sacrificed itself for me. And that I remember being 12 and being like, Dad, the Metroid just and he's like, the hell's a Metroid? You know, like he had no idea. But like, and I don't know, it would have been such a great opportunity for the jokes, right? How many times have I called Master Chief the guy from Halo or the guy from Fortnite, right? Like it's like everybody was calling Master Chief the guy from Fortnite. It's like, no, it was Halo, but I guarantee it gave Halo a bump, you know, God of War, all that stuff.
Even with the original Smash, like with like Ness and Lucas.
Mm-hmm. Or any of the Fire Emblem characters in Melee, we were all like, where what games are these guys from, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Something I want to point out, like, while I agree with you guys, and I think you guys also agree with this point, this wasn't never going to change the trajectory of Metroid, right? Like this isn't like a massive fumble to the point like Nintendo doomed the series or anything like that. But it's just something that it would have helped a little bit, and it's just something that it's probably I think it's good business practice and they don't practice it. And you know, something that I think is worth noting, right, is that when we got Master Chief and when we got Kratos, this was back in December 2020. Samus was going to come out during that time.
Yeah,
that's
supposed to be part of that whole thing. Yeah.
And let's remind ourselves, December 2020 was half a year before the reveal for Metroid Dread. They had a big marketing plan for Metroid Dread, and that would have been part of it. It's just kind of interesting. They could have had a little bit more heat there, and that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, they could have even had an update to the season later featuring the Metroid Dread suit.
Oh, that would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
But still waiting for that in Smash, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe the next one.
That's what it's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. I mean, this could have been big for Fortnite, too. I mean, you could have pulled in some new people. You know, if they would have gave in a little bit to Nintendo, you possibly could have pulled in new people, at least on the Switch, got them hooked, which then maybe they would start playing on other systems, buying different skins on those platforms, things like that. You know, I
think it would have helped Nintendo a lot more than
it probably would have. But I mean, it opens up, you know. Maybe I would pick it up. I've never played Fortnite, but if my favorite Nintendo character was in there, maybe I give it a chance. You know,
Fortnite at any given time has more concurrent players than the entire sales of all Metroid games ever made.
Oh, I realize that.
Yeah,
but
they also
it wouldn't hurt.
It's true. They make way more money in microtransactions than all those.
Here's one thing. I do think. I brought this up in my video. People really hated this point, but. Look, Nintendo provides these metrics every few years about the player base of Switch and the average age range of the people playing the system. And like it's like consistently like 85% of people are over the age of 18 and like 70% of them are over the age of 25.
That's because a lot of parents.
Yeah, I understand what the reasoning is and all of that. Yeah. But what I'm noticing, and this is like I can only speak from my experience as a father, none of my children's friends have Switches. None of them. You know what they do have? Tablets, laptops from school, and phones. And they're all playing free-to-play games like Roblox and Fortnite. And if they are playing on a console, it's because their parents have one where they're playing Fortnite and Roblox.
See, I have friends
Minecraft too a little bit mixed in.
Like from like 5 to 11, and I can think of like over 10 of them, and they all have Switches, and they're their own thing, and their parents don't even get it.
Sure. And that's fine. I think Switch is a go-to system for parents, thinking that it's a nice system to get for your kids.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a safe system, right? $200, get a Switch Lite or whatever. Parents grew up knowing what Nintendo is. I think it's a safe platform. I think that there's that mindset with parents that Nintendo is a go-to platform for children. But I also just know that the player base for Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, all these games that are primarily children are massive compared to anything Nintendo puts out. And a lot of it's because free to play. Obviously, Roblox being free to play, Fortnite being free to play. Minecraft isn't necessarily free to play,
But
but
they put so much money in the microtransactions.
yes, they do. They do. I
That's
don't
all
like
kids want
microtransactions.
for
Yeah.
like for their birthdays or Christmas. Is
They
V-Bucks.
want V-Bucks
V-Bucks.
cards. They want
Yeah.
Robux.
Like when
etc.
we talked about games in school, like when I was in school and people were like crazy about Pokemon and stuff, all like that's what kids are like care about. They talk to each other about like what skins they have in Fortnite. Like that's the playground talk. That's like all they care about.
Yeah.
And again, I'm getting this from all my friends' kids who they always talk to me about games because like
Yeah.
I'm like the adult that
The
like
adult gamer.
gets it. Yeah, exactly. So like they just like go on and then like their parents, my friends will like tell me like how like what a big deal it is at school and stuff. And obviously they like want to get them off the video games and not buy them the V-Bucks, but like that's
I don't mind it
all the
once
kids
in a
want.
while.
That's like the cool thing.
You want $20 in V-Bucks for your birthday? Fine. It's the easiest
Yeah.
Christmas present or birthday present I've ever bought. It's whatever.
Mhm.
One of the things I think is interesting though is that I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
How
so
dare.
it's okay. People can cut me off all the time. What I was trying to point out though is that Nintendo needs to be where the kids are. Nintendo is viewed by a lot of adults as a kiddie company, but I don't think their games actually appeal to what kids want. Kids want Fall Guys. They want Among Us. They want Fortnite. They want these multiplayer games with their friends where all of them can play together. And Nintendo doesn't really provide that. We have Mario Kart, but it's
I
not
play Fall Guys by myself.
Yeah, so do I. I have a lot of these games I end up playing by myself.
Fall Guys is fun. It feels
It
like
is
like,
fun.
It
It
is
is just fun.
It's a game show, but
Just looking at like
game.
all these super mega popular games that are being played by kids, it ain't Mario, it ain't Zelda. So Nintendo, I think, has not a problem in that their IPs don't appeal to people. I think their IPs start to appeal to kids as they grow up. They can grow up into becoming teenagers and above, and then they start to think Zelda might be cool, or Mario, or they start trying out games like Elden Ring and all these other more mature games that are now considered cooler as you get older.
Yeah.
So I think that they definitely grow up and can end up playing that stuff. But I think one thing that can help them help Nintendo is this untapped market of all these kids are now. When we were kids, we grew up with Nintendo. We grew up with Sonic and Mario. They're not growing up with that anymore.
Correct.
And so Nintendo needs to. This is my entire
The
point.
movies are helping. The Sonic movies and the Mario
Sonic
movies
movies and Mario movies absolutely
helping a
help.
lot.
Yeah, because that's hitting people. That's hitting kids that weren't even playing the games, and now they might want to try the games afterwards.
I wonder what the average age of the Splatoon user is.
Yeah, I don't know. But I sit back and I go, I know the reputation is adults think Nintendo's for kids, but I think most people, like the actual population of people playing each Nintendo game is probably over 50% of its adults.
That's not even. You don't have to think that. It's a fact.
Yeah. So
we have the numbers.
Yeah. So, well, Nintendo's numbers, which again, as Jake pointed out, could be skewed a little bit. Kids playing on parents' accounts, etc.
Sure, but also our demographics are.
Well, our demographics are all. Yeah,
they support Nintendo's.
I don't have a lot of kids watching my videos.
Yeah.
That's for
sure. Same thing. People will make an account that's over 18 on YouTube, so they're not restricted.
I know. Well, then why is my average age of my audience 30 to 45?
Believe what you want.
30 to 45.
They overshot it.
So they overshot it a lot. Yeah. Anyways, but look, the numbers are what the numbers are. We can argue about whether or not how accurate they are, but what we are not going to argue about, I think we can all be agreed, is that games like Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox are very, very popular with children, and those aren't Nintendo IP. And I think Nintendo needs to be less lax and allow their IP to kind of permeate a little bit into those games if those games are willing to do. If it's just like skins, like I saw people going, "Oh, Samus having to go do." Samus is shooting laser beams from her arm cannon, and you're worried about her shotgunning someone's face. It's not actually Samus, by the way. It's a skin.
Yeah.
It's not literally Samus. And people, by the way, have already gone in and made custom color variations of skins to put Zero Suit Samus into Fortnite. It's already happening anyways for people that really want to play as Samus Aran in the games regardless. So there's literally, I found this out, by the way, because when the story popped up, I just typed in Samus Aran Fortnite into Google, and here are all these guides on how to make Zero Suit Samus and play it in Fortnite.
Wild though. So like there are some power-ups in Fortnite that have you moving around like a ghost, like a demon ghost.
Yeah.
And if they had Dark Samus, it would look perfect.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. They would have put in also some of the abilities you'd be able to pick up in the world would be Samus's abilities. What am I saying? Like the morph ball.
Probably let you pick up the arm cannon.
Yeah, they probably would have let you pick up the arm cannon for
Well,
sure.
they didn't do that for Kratos or Master Chief though. I don't remember. I think it was just.
One of Master Chief's guns was in the game.
Well,
They did it. They did it with Spider-Man. They did it with
Spider-Man with the web slinging.
Goku, right?
Yeah.
And Goku.
Yeah, the Nimbus and the Kamehameha, which is really cool.
And then they have like right now the currencies has like
in
the
Star Wars.
Lightning,
that was really fun.
Yeah,
lightsaber duels.
Yeah, so they have the lightsabers. They got the Zeus lightning right now, and other Greek god stuff going on.
I played that for a little bit. That was also fun.
And one thing I will say about all of this is I just think Nintendo needs to be more open to letting their IP seep into where the children are, because what's going to happen is as they grow up and they're considering playing other things, they might now recognize game names because it appeared or characters because it appeared in a game that they grew up with.
You need another way to like expose them to it besides just releasing the games, and that's why the movies have helped.
Yeah, the movies are a big deal.
Like putting them in the free-to-play stuff like Minecraft, even like Roblox, like Fortnite.
Nintendo could make a free-to-play. By the way, guys,
way to like have kids be like
Kirby's Dream Buffet,
and then be like, oh, this new game is coming out. Go ahead, Andres.
I don't know if I should say this because I may get canceled. But
they did add Mario to Minecraft.
It's on my channel. You probably won't get canceled.
Didn't they add a Mario?
Actually, I probably
every video we put up, we're canceled, Andres. So
it was just on the Switch version.
Well, you're right. We're already canceled. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What if Nintendo made a free-to-play game?
They'd have.
They're not gonna have a choice.
Kirby's Dream Buffet. But here's the problem. Dream Buffet is
Pokemon,
very Fall Guys
like.
But here's the problem with it.
It didn't catch on.
Nintendo's not putting it on other things.
What
makes these free-to-play games so popular is they're everywhere. It doesn't matter what you have. And they're all cross-platform and you can play it on anything. That's what, seriously, if you're a kid in school, it doesn't matter if you have a Chromebook.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have a Chromebook, or a PlayStation, or a Switch, or a phone.
Yeah.
You can play it. You could just play with your friends. There's no device ecosystem locking you to having to you think today I'll even use an example. I'm in my first ever Madden league right now on Xbox Series that's cross-platform with PlayStation 5. Didn't even exist at the beginning of Madden this year. You had to choose where you're going to play with your friends on Xbox in a league or you're going to play with your friends on PlayStation. Now you could do both. So this is what's that's always going to be the big thing that holds back is, they can have their free-to-play fun game, but if you have to buy a Nintendo platform to enjoy it, you're not going to hit with all the kids.
To add to this a little bit, I was thinking about this the other day, and these games hit and became super popular while the Wii U was failing. We often point to the bad marketing of the Wii U because of, calling it that, and the Wii was so popular and people didn't know what it was. But they were also in an uphill battle against, Fortnite, remember, was on mobile for the longest time. So all the iPad kids, all like the I'm assuming iPods even, but if you think back, and like you were saying, there's a generational issue here. We all have nostalgia for either Mario or Pokemon, or maybe a little bit of both, right? They kind of all bleed together, but then
I might even argue we have nostalgia for control options like the D-pad that children aren't growing up with right now.
Yeah. You watch, and it's like we look at the Xbox buying Activision Blizzard. Like one of the most profitable things they bought from that whole thing was Call of Duty Mobile. Like that thing brings in, money hand over fist. And Nintendo has even seen the profits from mobile with, Mario Kart, Fire Emblem, I think is their most profitable mobile game. And it's
Fire Emblem Heroes. Yep.
Yeah. And
gotcha mechanics.
Right.
Microtransactions.
Exactly. And so I wouldn't be surprised. And and some people get very fired up when I say this because I've said it on my podcast before. I would not be surprised if we saw a free-to-play multiplayer of Mario Kart and they still sold a base game similar to Call of Duty, and we could do battle passes for the next 5 to 10 years, getting new items, different skins, all that kind of stuff, and it's
Mario
their
Kart is
most.
the IP for this.
It is,
Yeah.
and
think
so
And that sucks. I hate
think
that. I hate
it
thinking
sucks
about
for
it, but
gamers of our generation
Yeah.
because we grew up getting full experiences.
yeah.
But I think it's trending one way, and Nintendo, much more than other companies, I think is actually they don't do everything perfect. They have some practices that people don't like, but I think
Of course, as soon as
Fine.
Jake's about to make a good point.
keep-
But it's a good thing that he's thinking.
all right, no. All right, Nintendo is better at keeping things like kind of pure, almost like they do their best to give us a full experience as possible. They don't like to put microtransactions.
Yeah.
He's spitting fire.
You know, no,
I give up.
no. So like Nintendo doesn't like to do the microtransaction. I think it's very much a cultural thing with them in Japan. They don't like the exploitation of children. I think that is something they've made very clear with some of their online policies and their voice chat policies and parental control emphasis and all the videos that I mean, they have a literal Play Nintendo YouTube channel because they felt like even their own YouTube channel might not be the safest thing for kids because we now have M-rated trailers on there for certain games. So now we need an entirely separate YouTube channel where they do re-upload the games that they intend for kids while also doing children-based stuff. Like Nintendo they love making money, but they don't like doing it at the expense of exploiting a child. And I think it's a cultural thing for them. And Nintendo's obviously, but they learned the hard way on mobile. When they released Super Mario Run, I think they thought it was going to be a mega success, a one-time charge, $10. Everyone bitches about microtransactions. Everyone loves Mario. It didn't work.
no, it was the beginning of Fortnite and the beginning of all these free to play games.
And there's already all these free to play games on mobile devices that people were just accustomed
Angry Birds,
to,
right?
like, yeah,
That kind of
accustomed
stuff.
to. Hey, well, do we just get to play the whole game? And if our progress is temporarily stopped, we just spend money and get extra lives and keep going. People were already becoming accustomed to microtransactions to play free to play games. And Nintendo was like, no, we're going to do a more traditional approach. You're going to get to play like half the game for free. And I think it was just like one row of the game for free. And you get all the other stages for $10. It's going to be awesome. And it didn't work because people don't want to spend $10 seems like a lot to a lot of people. They'd rather spend a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. It's going to add up to way more
all
than
the
$10.
kids that are playing them.
Yeah.
They just don't have $10, and then they ask their parents for $10 to get a game on their phone. They're like,
yeah,
no.
parents are like,
And
you
but
roll in
if
their
it's
eyes.
free,
Yeah.
anything that's free, they're just downloading it. Whatever's the funnest is what they
Yeah.
play. And then it comes down to whatever their friends are playing that's free.
Yeah.
Here's the thing
And
about
like what sucks
microtransactions.
is that
Sorry.
like video games got made like when in the 80s and the 90s, like that's like the type of games we grew up with. So that's the games they kept making, and they wanted to make games like that for the kids that were going to get older and buy them. But now kids are getting the free-to-play games with microtransactions, so it's just going to lean that way. They've never had physical games, so they're not going to make them. And we're all like, oh, wait till you see when you get older, you can't replay the games that you liked. Like, you regret this one day. I don't think they will, because they've never known that. They won't care. They'll just keep playing the next new thing, and that'll be fine with them. They will never regret it or feel bad
Agreed.
about it. And that's why it's going to be all digital one day. And they won't feel like they're missing anything. And it'll be like boomers like us, like yelling at the cloud.
Yep,
Like,
old man yelling
literally yelling at the cloud. Like,
Right.
and yeah, and that kind of is a depressing thing. It's it's a sad thought, but I also think that gaming itself is so huge now. There will always be games like us. There will always be company preying on nostalgia, almost like Limited Run, that will make physical things, but they will be special things. They won't be like the norm.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of like
we will be
vinyl
the
albums
niche.
have come back.
We
It's
will
not
become
every
the
album.
audience. We kind of already are. And there will be a place for us at least, though. But it does suck seeing what definitely is the best way, like physical releases, all that kind of stuff, not existing anymore. And to be honest, even when they do, it's going to come a point where nothing is complete on the disc or the cartridge, and
It's already
basically
that way.
almost
for a lot
already
of
there.
games. Yeah.
So like now, like physical things are just kind of like for nostalgia at this point. They don't really mean anything.
And I think this is the reality. Like when I saw a lot of people getting upset at my opinion on the Fortnite stuff, I'm just like, I get it. We feel like we have a lot of personal ownership over IPs and characters. I feel like because video games are a different medium, we grew up with these characters, we grew up with these games. They helped us through troubled times and whatever else in our life. So we feel personally connected to them in a way that sometimes goes beyond comic books and movies, where we can feel connected to that stuff, but it's different when we're the ones literally making the decisions in the worlds we're playing in. And so I understand some of the like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't do this. This would have been so trash. It would have ruined the franchise. I'm like, no, it wouldn't have ruined jack shit. Because you know what would have happened? They would have brought the skins into Fortnite. You're still not playing Fortnite. It still wouldn't impact your opinion on Metroid Prime 4. Like, it just would not have changed any of your thoughts on the current Metroid games because it would have been irrelevant. People need to understand that if you don't like something happening and something you already don't like shouldn't really affect you if it's not impacting the things you do like. Like, oh, you like Samus? You like Metroid? How did the skins being in that game affect your life in any possible way? In fact, your enjoyment of the next Metroid
forever.
Game? Yeah, like, how's it going to ruin the next Metroid game? They're not going to look at what happened with Fortnite and be like, oh, man, now let's grab all the microtransactions for there and shove season passes into a single-player Metroid Prime 4 game. Like, that's not... Nintendo has never
God
given
of
us...
War was shit because of that Kratos in Fortnite.
Yeah. God, the latest God of War must have sucked. The latest...
Yeah.
Well, we won't go into
Well, don't talk about Halo. Come on.
Let's not talk about Halo, yeah. It had some good things.
It did.
It just...
I was calculated with my words.
They can't... Look, Microsoft, of all the companies you buy, you should have brought Bungie back and forced them to make Halo again.
I mean, I don't think
The last time Halo was good.
I will say the silver lining for like people like us that are our age that grew up with physical games being the norm is that pretty much every system up to like PS4, like you can get all the ROMs online super easily for free and play them on pretty much anything.
Sure.
Which at least they're there in some form.
That's probably the case for everything moving forward at this point.
With this generational stuff,
PS4
though,
onward because of like a lot of online requirements. So
yeah, well, a lot of people are taking those online games and getting them on PC and hacking the fuck out of them to make them still playable.
I'm sure the other ones will still.
I mean, they are making it, and I will say, I have one little defense for companies sometimes. There are some companies that tend to have their games pirated more than others at launch. So I kind of understand what, like, they're trying all these anti-piracy measures, which actually just end up hurting real consumers and it sucks ass. But I get what they're trying to do. Like Nintendo, I'm shocked because their games leak weeks before they come out that they haven't put in some online day one requirement bullshit to prevent leaks from being playable. Thank you, Nintendo.
I don't think the Switch could run it well enough if they did that.
Well, all it would have to be is, what did we just say? Physical cartridges aren't complete games. You just can't have the complete game on the cart. It just literally isn't playable without a day one update. It's just literally missing part of the game. That
It's
makes
a download code.
Like that. That's the solution where you don't have to worry about. It's not an online requirement. It's that you have to download.
If they did that, I feel like their physical game sales would go down so much.
I don't know. I'm not saying that they're going
the
to.
Only people that are buying
obviously
physical are people like us. Like kids aren't buying physical ever. And if we knew that they would never work without an online like download, I think a lot of people would not buy them.
One thing I will say about my kids, now my kids, they have Switches and stuff, and they have access to the PlayStation and Xbox, and tablets. What I find fascinating is my kids said something to me the other day that I thought was awesome, and this is really just because of how shitty Nintendo's stuff is. We have our paid family NSO plan and everything, but I have a bunch of digital games. I just for reasons of my content creation and streaming, I like having a huge digital library. So I don't have as many physical games as I once did.
I double dip on a lot of games because it is way more convenient.
Dude, I'm double dipped. I'm triple quadruple dipped on Tears of the Kingdom.
If there's an eShop sale and they're like 75, 90% off, I have the cartridge already, I'm gonna probably buy it if I like the game. So
but my kids, what I was trying to point out is that my kids, and this you guys have seen it on some of my vertical live streams, sometimes I get booted off of my game. Why? Because the kids are trying to play games I have access to that I'm okay with them playing, but I can't give them access on their account to play my games.
Right.
Nintendo doesn't let you do that. So what sucks is, so what my kids said, oh, I don't have to worry about Mario Party. I can just Dad can just give me the cartridge to play it. I can play it on my account with it was literally like a realization to my kids. Oh, oh, I could just put the cartridge in and play. I don't have to worry about dad's account.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the still benefits of physical is not worrying about that stuff. I think, and it was kind of neat watching my kid come to that realization that, oh, I don't need dad's account for this game. And it's like, yes, but technically the reason that you do, that you're thinking this is because Nintendo's account systems just suck ass. Because on other systems, I can let multiple. Eric can literally right now go on his Xbox if he had it at his house, not at my house. But he could go on it and play Madden right now, and he didn't buy it. I bought it.
Mhm.
But he has access through my account to use it on his account. My kids don't get that unless it's on my main Switch, which I'm not handing my kids my main Switch. They have their own Switches. So I'm not going to make their Switches my main account Switch. And then I'm using the backup Switch. Like that doesn't make any sense. So that's just Nintendo being ass backwards, but it kind of points out that by the way, I think this is all going to change in the future. I think there's going to be a future where you'll be able to, if everyone's on a family account, everyone on the family account will be able to share games together. I think Nintendo's going to allow that at some point because it is one of the many frustrating things about the way Nintendo handles their account systems and the eShop in general. That being said, this is obviously also me hoping that they make these improvements. As a parent, please. Look, I own the game. Because I don't have a physical cart, my kid should be allowed to play it without kicking me off. Of a completely different game that I'm playing. I understand if it's the same game. They're playing a completely different one. It shouldn't kick me off. But anyways,
you can pick your favorite kid by making your home Switch.
Yeah, their Switch.
Well, here's the problem with it is like if you did that, then like you could literally give your Switch account to like so many different people, right? And then as long as you're playing different games, you could have all these people and just like no one would have to pay. You know what I mean?
See,
like,
but see,
like
that's why the limit is your family NSO account.
Which can be 8 people.
Yeah, and maybe they limit it to only 4. Maybe you have 4 primary accounts on a family account, and those are the 4 accounts that you can share all their games. Parents, basically a 2-parent family and 2 kids.
Or make it a couple licenses that you can move around to different.
Yeah, there's ways around it. Whether Nintendo's ever going to do it is a completely different thing. And the other systems, Xbox and PlayStation, already are better about it in terms of at least between 2 or 3 systems being able to share games. So, and they have their ways that they handle it, little quirks and limits. Nintendo just straight up, it's you need to make someone else's system your main account, and you guys can't both use the account actually at the exact same time. You just can't do it, period. But because it's the main account on their Switch, they can play with their account on the games that are yours. But then, gosh forbid that someone tries to log in with their account on someone else's Switch, and it just starts booting everyone off, even though people aren't even playing the same thing, and it makes no sense. But again, this is by the way stuff that I think over time, give it 10 years, Nintendo might finally figure out to not make this so damn confusing for families. Because that as a family, as a lot of you guys don't have kids out there that are watching. For you, this ain't even a problem. But for a parent like me that doesn't want to have to buy the games 5 times so every person in my house can play it, I shouldn't have to do that. Oh, just buy the physical card. Yeah, but you try having kids and have those physical cards not get lost. So they're this big. They're that big.
I'm looking at a stack of 6 Mario Kart 7 DS cases right now.
And they're tiny. They're so easy to lose. And I was playing it outside and then I changed games. I don't know what happened to it, Dad. Now it's in the yard somewhere and I'm never finding it.
In the lawnmower.
Better get grounded. Shrink me down. Let me peel through the grass. Maybe I'll find it somewhere as I'm fighting all the ants.
Yo, I kid you not. My kids' car seats. I'm shaking them when they outgrew them. I'm like, there's DS games in here. Sure enough, I ripped that thing open and there was Transformers, Call of Duty, Diddy Kong Racing, all stuffed inside the I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Nice.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't know. We just had our car detailed and the amount of stuff he found, and let alone clean. By the way, shout out to car detailers. I thought my car was wrecked. My kids destroyed. Dude, it's like it came off the lot, baby. I don't know how they got some of that shit out of the seats and
Bro, for
Thank
a
you.
moment, I thought you were gonna like just completely like pull a sponsor out of your back pocket.
Nah. By the way,
Guess
speaking
what?
of sponsors,
Speaking of,
we are sponsored this month by Aura. Shout out to Aura. You guys can go to aura.com/Nintendo Prime, get a free 14-day trial. Doing so does help support the channel. And actually, if you sign up to the free sign up and you're in the United States, because it's limited to US residents, I actually get 200 buckaroonies just chilling in my bank. Thank you guys for that support. You don't even have to keep it, but I hope you do, because Aura does actually protect you. It gets actually, I'll tell you, I have a fresh story. Both of my parents' social security numbers were on the dark web, and they found out because of Aura, and it happened because of the AT&T leak. So, and they wouldn't have even known that their things were on the dark web if Aura didn't find it. So, and so now they had to go get their social security numbers changed. I'm just telling you guys, the shit works. The product works in so many different ways to protect you, whether it's passwords, you want to run your passwords through it, whether it's just your emails and your phone number, get rid of spam calls. I'm only talking about them and I'm only partnering with them because this shit works and I use it myself. So go ahead and check them out, support the channel, keep it, don't keep it. I think you should keep it. But if you don't want to, I get it. Not everyone wants to add another subscription to their already pamphlet of subscriptions, but this one at least does what it says it's going to do.
there are different kind of plans too. Like there's a family plan.
Yeah.
There's like an individual
You can make
plan.
it cheaper if you want to put more people on it. So it's not like $15 a month for just, every single person. You can do. My parents, I think, paid $22 a month. Actually, they prepaid for the whole year after they'd actually started working. And they're like, "Holy shit! Yeah, I got rid of my personal information off these websites. I don't want it. I got rid of my phone numbers over here. I'm getting less spam. Oh shit! It found out my social security number leaked. Like that's big shit that people don't even know is happening.
See, that would be a nuisance for me. I'm trying to get more people to know my social security number.
Well, I mean, you can hand it out right now.
There you
I'm trying
go.
to get it out there. I'm trying to make waves. All right, I want to be known.
I need your help. Please give me the last 12 digits of your credit card and the 3 on the back.
Right.
Also the expiration
Yeah,
date.
don't forget the expiration. Hey, expiration date. Is it like a day away from your birthday or
Also full name.
full?
Oh, don't
Full legal
forget
name.
the billing address.
Yeah, I need your address as well.
Yeah.
I just have a general idea. Hey, I was gonna come. Hey, you know what? PAX East, right? That's still happening. We'll pretend it didn't happen yet. I need your address. I'm staying at your house. Anyway,
Full disclaimer, I am not a prince from India.
anyways, I
you
always
are a
forget to
prince,
shout out
my
Aura
guy.
because they re-up the sponsorship to the end of the month. So you guys still got 6 days if you want to sign up for it. Thank you guys so much. It does support the show.
I use
and
it.
supports
It's
everything
freaking
we're
awesome.
doing. Yeah. Eric literally uses it, primarily passwords,
Password
but
manager.
other things too.
Well,
if something
I've
pops up.
added my bank accounts, my retirement account, my like pretty much all my accounts, my passwords, my social security number, my phone number, my email addresses.
Yeah, dude, it's legit. They've been sponsors of NBA teams, and like
I saw
Yeah.
that.
yeah, they're
What
a
team?
really big deal company. I think Minnesota Timberwolves was one of
Oh,
them.
fuck that. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think
Minnesota's pretty good this year though.
yeah, I mean, they are pretty good. We'll see what
They
happens.
were
pretty
protected
good.
by Aura.
Dude, I'm actually looking forward to a Wolves Denver series. I think that's gonna be sick. Anyways,
Agreed.
I just think it's gonna be a six series. So I think that in general, I think we've kind of exhausted this topic. Unless you guys want to dive more into the Gary's mod thing, which is related, but in so much that they're removing content that's already existed for 20 years, rather than just saying from the get go you can't have our
That
content.
just sucks.
I mean, I think we all agree, like, we like it when Nintendo is a little bit more flexible with these things. Like, obviously, they have the right to take down these things, but it's just kind of, like, to whose benefit? I don't think the Gary's mod thing was hurting them.
It
in
was
any
hurting
way.
anyone. No.
I
Right.
think
They didn't even know it
in
existed.
their eyes, it's always to make an example so things that actually could hurt them never even attempt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean-
all those Switch games leaking with the piracy a week before has really stopped.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something that you could argue actually hurts them. It has nothing stopped it.
Yeah, people love to pirate Nintendo games. That is really popular.
Yeah, I'm like I get what Nintendo tries to do from like a legal perspective, and I understand their mentality, but like nothing they've done has actually ever stopped anything.
Yeah, well, you could argue that it might have.
So all the ROM sites they took down stopped Nintendo ROMs from being easily and freely available all over the internet?
It made it more difficult for sure. It's still easy. It makes it one less way to do it.
I mean, yeah, but even Google search
Yeah,
results
and
just
I
gave
think
me
that's
like
good enough for
7
them.
websites. I mean, I'm just saying that like it.
I think there'd probably be a billion more websites if Nintendo didn't go after them.
I do think it makes a difference. Yeah. I do think it does.
See, this is where I side with the Linus Tech Tips, who talked about this on the WAN show once, where they think it makes zero difference because websites cost nothing and it's $1 a dozen to just spin one up. You literally just copy the code over to a new URL and you're right back up. And the ways that you find ROMs are usually not through Google; it's through other search engines that don't block them, because Google actually tries to block a lot of those kind of websites from appearing in their search results.
I'm not saying that if you aren't committed enough, you can't find it.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly. I'm not
saying
saying that either.
They're just making it a little bit more challenging.
Well, most people that are in the ROMs are pretty committed.
Right. Most people that are into ROMs are, but more casual people, it will stop.
Casual people weren't even doing it in the first place.
Not true. Someone in the chat just said that it stopped them.
Who said it in the chat? I was like, I don't see any comment in the chat saying that. I was like, hold on.
Lily Young?
Lily Young.
Oh, can you read, Nate? Or
can I read? I see. I agree, Jake. It helped me to stop pirating Nintendo games when I was younger.
Oh, man.
You know what? I'm actually more surprised.
What?
Lily Young, and this is because I know a little bit more about you, that you had something capable of playing pirated games on when you were younger. This is not an offense. I'm actually shocked, because even when I was younger, and now this was obviously back in the 90s, it wasn't like my computer could easily emulate games. It wasn't that great back then. Today is obviously way easier. You can do it on phones. You can do it on phones now. Yeah.
What about like Game Boy games?
Actually, there's an emulator freely and legally available right now on your phone. I think emulation is only going to get more popular.
Yeah.
Now you can literally, it's like the #1 app on the App Store, and it's right here in the US.
Yep.
Like, it's only going to get more popular.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going anywhere. Nintendo can't touch this one because it doesn't require license keys, because it's all the retro systems before they had encryption keys. So since you don't need Nintendo's encryption keys, it's a fully legal emulator, and Nintendo can't do shit about it.
So Gary's mod's free, right? Just a sandbox, or maybe
it's $10, I think.
Okay. So what I'm watching right now is Mario Party style mini games with all of the Mario characters in Roblox. What happens if Nintendo tries to go after
Roblox?
them?
The Roblox is going to be next for sure, because the user generated content.
But they have got the bankroll. Like they may,
but so Nintendo.
Well, they're not going to take down Roblox. They're just going to take down the Nintendo content.
What they're going to do is force the people who own Roblox, because the bottom line is, the reason that Gary's Mod isn't arguing is they made the point themselves. It is their IP. This is their legal right. Like, we don't have a legal argument to tell them, we're going to keep your IP illegally up on our game. So if they decide to go after Roblox, which again Nintendo hasn't done yet, but if they do, yeah, they would have to legally oblige, which would really suck, because there is a lot of, and I know this because my kids have experienced it, there is a lot of Nintendo fan made content on Roblox. And by the way, it's not just Nintendo. I actually am kind of shocked that Roblox still exists, because it is copyright infringing every IP that exists in the known universe.
Yeah.
Squid Games show came out. Oh, my kids know what Squid Games is. They think it's a game on Roblox. No, it's not. But
no, you keep thinking that.
You keep thinking that. I'd rather you do that than actually look up the series at your age. You can watch this when you're like 18, maybe even a little older, because my daughter, definitely older. She gets nightmares when I just like jump out of the bathroom and go and all of a sudden she's having a nightmare, and she's 13. So you know what? Maybe you just never watch something like that. You will cry your eyeballs out and have nightmares for it. You know what? No, it's time to train her. What am I talking about? She's 13. Time to bust out the Saw movies. You're doing it wrong. I just got to make her so numb to it she can't feel feelings anymore.
And then you just walk by her when her door's closed at night and just drag your hand across it.
I mean, here's the thing. Like Borfus is very true. Roblox pushes boundaries. I don't think they push boundaries. I think they just walk right over and say,
don't care.
Try me. It's user-generated content. Our TOS says we're not responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
Try me. They're standing by the fact that they can't control user-generated content. And it's one of those things where Nintendo would be the company that would say, bet, let's go to court and have the court enforce you to not allow things with user-generated content. And that, I mean, look, it already happens. YouTube is user-generated content, and yet Nintendo can enforce certain things we can't do on YouTube. So,
Well, YouTube kind of.
I'm actually, you know what I'm actually shocked about? That wasn't it the Point Crow YouTuber who got in trouble for modded Nintendo games on YouTube, got in huge trouble, got a huge strike from Nintendo that they did not rescind.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah,
he does Pokemon stuff, right?
Yeah, and he does some Pokemon stuff too. Yeah, the content, by the way, was like 5 years old that Nintendo dinged, and yet here we have literally beat 'em ups doing a live stream all week that involves a modded version of the Wind Waker where his chat can make things happen in the game, and he's live streaming it right here on YouTube. He is like daring Nintendo to be like, bet. Come at me, bro. Because they already did it to a prior YouTuber. So I'm like, man, I'm so like, if he would have kept it on Twitch, because on Twitch, they usually just take down your stream. They don't strike you or do any legal precedent. But on YouTube, Nintendo has already shown they will literally try to take your damn channel out. So I think it's quite fascinating that one of the biggest Nintendo YouTubers there is literally like blatantly doing something Nintendo has already publicly made very clear stances on that you cannot do. Hey, it's his risk. He wants to dare Nintendo to do something. That's on him. And you know what? Maybe he's got the bankroll to not give a shit, or maybe he doesn't care about a copyright strike because he wants a break from YouTube anyways. I have no idea. But I just thought that was fascinating when I saw that because I heard him announce it. I thought, oh, he'll just do it on Twitch where like it just gets deleted and it's not a big deal. No, he's doing it like literally like Twitch plays Pokemon. You know, that can exist on Twitch because their policies over there don't allow Nintendo to do much except delete things after the fact. But on YouTube, they can literally copyright strike you, which is a legal action, by the way, guys. It's actually that's why YouTube stays out of it.
They couldn't copyright strike you for that. I mean, they can copyright strike. Anyone can copyright strike for anything, but that wouldn't be taken down from YouTube. That would just be reinstated.
They could. YouTube doesn't actually make the decisions on reinstatement. Copyright strikes, YouTube stays out of. Literally, when you appeal a copyright strike, it just goes back to the person who gave the strike, and they said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then they just click a button.
No, that's not true. There's been cases where
there's been extreme outliers, yes, where YouTube has
extreme outliers. It happens all the time.
Like what? Give me an example.
And there's false copyright strikes all the time, and then
yes, when it's deemed a false strike,
even from Nintendo.
Like what? What Nintendo one got repealed?
I can't name them off the top of my head right now specifically, but
I'm actually asking because I'm curious.
Yeah, I can't name any off the top of my head, like specifically, but I just see it happen all the time.
Yeah, but well, here's the thing.
Yeah, we'll Google that.
What's interesting is Nintendo has the ability to take down any gameplay of any of their games. They actually used to do that on YouTube. They wouldn't allow any gameplay to exist. They changed their own policies to allow it. So they could really just do anything they want if they want to. It's just now that they have those public policies about content use, I think there's actually more of a legal case for someone if Nintendo really tried pressing. Oh, I'm just going to take it down on grounds of using our gameplay. I don't want.
Yeah, I'm just confused at that example specifically. Twitch plays Pokemon because it's not modded in any way, shape, or form. It's just allowing the chat to choose
to put inputs into the game.
Yeah, but how are they?
What is that? How is that? Are they doing that over Nintendo hardware?
There has to be some kind of.
They have to be using third-party things to make that work.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, like that wouldn't be. They're not literally someone there with a controller pressing the button when they see a command.
Yeah.
There's code base and other stuff going on that's affecting.
Yeah, that's just like a modification to the controller, though.
A modification of the controller that affects the game.
Yeah, but you can have third-party controllers that are modified with turbo buttons all the time. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, sure, but do you think it's a third-party controller or is it a computer program?
Well, I mean, that's just like
Nintendo hates mods.
Tomato.
I'm just saying the way Nintendo's acted, like, they hate mods. Whether or not they take it down. By the way, Pokemon in particular, Nintendo doesn't actually deal with any of that. They let the Pokemon company deal with that.
And they also are picky as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Pokemon Company's weird. They let some fan games
they
exist
let all
blatantly. and other ones not. It's weird.
Yeah, like
Illegal,
Pokemon Showdown, they're never
the
gonna
ROM
take it down.
hacks. Like there's like tons of YouTube videos about them.
Yeah, no,
They're doing
there's
those
some
types of
they're dude, Pokemon's weird because there
even
are
like Zelda Breath of the Wild, like the thing that got beat 'em ups like out of Nintendo's good graces, they didn't take it down.
no.
That was heavily that's an example that's like heavily modded that they could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know because we got the full story, kind of the full story.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like
Because
they
they
like
had getting Chris on his podcast, he asked him about it, and they ran the membership program, or one of them did, and
Yeah.
they said that he came up and they said this is what they think is the full reason. It sounded like no one even knew. Doesn't sound like that partner programs ran very well. Is actually what I
well,
when I
he
got
had
out
them
of
on
the
their own
conversation.
podcast, and they said that was the reason.
Yeah. So I think that I think it's interesting. YouTube's just weird, man, and not YouTube. Nintendo's just
agreed.
weird. Nintendo's weird. I mean, YouTube's weird too, but Nintendo's just weird.
Everyone's
They
weird.
don't apply their policies equally across the board. It's very picky and choosy. And even then, it's questionable at times if they even have the legal right for some of the things they're doing. It's very weird. And like Gary's mod, yeah, it's obvious. Yes, they could, if they don't have a TOS that wipes their responsibility away, then yeah, and even a TOS is technically not a legally binding thing. TOSs get destroyed in court all the time. So this to me, this whole thing, like one thing about Nintendo saying no, you can't have Fortnite stuff because you're going to put it on other people's platforms. I think that's just Nintendo not seeing a business opportunity that is way more beneficial for them, and just focusing more on we don't want to give competition our IP, which is not really what's happening. But I understand why they may think that, and I think that is them being just too stingy. And then you have the Gary's mod example where it's just them doing one of those random things where they just randomly decide after 20 years this is a problem now.
I saw someone say in chat that it's not verified that it was Nintendo that shut him down.
That was Charles. Yeah.
Well,
It
and
may have
that's
been
interesting
a
because
fake takedown.
maybe I think. See, here's the thing about Gary's mod, and the reason this is why I say unless it's coming from the person who put the statement on the actual game page, unless he's saying he's not sure, then I think that's just fans gestating and guessing because Valve's already taken down things because Nintendo has requested, and Valve verified it was Nintendo. They took down the Dolphin because of Nintendo's request. They've taken out. There was one other thing they took down as well because of Nintendo's request. So we already know Nintendo talks directly to Valve, and we all know Gary's mod is pretty well connected to Steam and Valve. So like, I have sincere doubts that unless the person who put the original post up has now casted doubt, I just don't really think there's a doubt about a cease and desist.
But even then, though, it's probably better to be safe than sorry.
Well, and again, he's saying that if you read the original text of the post, it's like, hey, Nintendo said it, and they're right, and we don't have a choice. The only person that would know are the people
pretending to be Nintendo, right?
It depends. Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't know how their copyright system works on Steam compared to YouTube and other platforms. But what I'm just saying that Gary's mod is so well associated with Steam that like if it's a legal cease and desist letter from Nintendo's lawyers, it's a legal cease and desist letter. Like that's not we don't know how the takedown happened. This isn't like YouTube where anyone can just go in and claim I own a game.
It is a legal cease and desist letter. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know how it happened.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying.
Is there guys? Let me know. So I use Steam, but I've never worried about copyright stuff because I'm not a content creator. Is there a way to just freely claim anything in a game and say it's mine? Copyright claim like on YouTube? Because anyone on YouTube can make a copyright claim. Anyone, literally anyone. Anyone can claim to be anything.
Yeah, I just got one from a Mario Kart podcast. This at the 9-minute mark was like, some company in Taiwan was like, oh, it was literally me speaking and Mario Kart gameplay. I'm like, there's no music here. There's nothing. Get out of here.
A lot of those things are automated and they're weird. And like, as long as you just repeal it, like it just gets taken away automatically.
Yeah. Less than 24 hours.
Most of the time.
So Jay Arthur is saying people doubt it because they haven't shown the DMCA letter. I will say this. They don't have to show you shit.
No.
Yeah, but if they don't show you shit, it's not verified.
But it doesn't matter if it's verified or not.
Well, here's the thing: it's coming from
to take it down.
Okay,
yeah, but it's not verified that it was Nintendo that made them take it down.
Here's the thing. If the creators of the game go into a game and say, "Hey, we have to take this shit down because Nintendo is making us do it," they don't have to actually provide you the proof because it's
No,
their
they
video
don't. But
game.
then I don't have to believe that it was really Nintendo.
But you still have to take it down.
I'm looking at
If you
Reddit
wanna
right now,
believe that it was Nintendo.
and apparently, again,
People
it's
think
all
that the guy's a liar, basically.
there's
No, he could have just fallen for it.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, this apparently it's some guy named Aaron Peters, and this is what the comments say. And again, it's Reddit, so grain of salt,
Yeah.
everything. This is not like it says. No, Nintendo would never do this. Apparently, as I was doing more digging, this is from the Senran something or other. This chaos was caused by an internet troll who goes by the name Aaron Peters. He was known for falsely flagging add-ons. In this case, he's targeting add-ons that are Nintendo related with fake DMCAs and claims to be part of Nintendo, which he's obviously not. And then the next comment says, people who are saying this is just Aaron Peters spoofing as Nintendo are neglecting one crucial fact. This was an official statement made by Gary himself. I seriously doubt he would make an official announcement like this over well-reported antics of a single guy group, especially when it's faced similar situations in the past. My guess is that Peters managed to cause enough ruckus to get Nintendo's attention. They took a peek at the situation, saw how much Nintendo content is on the workshop, and the rest is history. But they could be wrong too.
So they're saying that they don't think the guy's dumb enough to fall for an Aaron Peters type is basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. But they are obviously there's no one's gonna be sure because he's not gonna share the
One
legal
thing we
letter.
can all agree on is Aaron Peters is a douche.
Yeah, very much a douche. Yeah. But anyways, look, this is a thing where I think maybe one reason, the storyline the official statement is that Nintendo said whatever. Obviously, there's gonna be some theory crafting around whether they did it or not. I think one thing that lends to some credit to maybe believing Nintendo would is just because Nintendo's actually been paying more attention to Valve the last 2 years. They've literally Valve ain't fallen for some fake DMCA claim. They're talking directly to they have games on Nintendo systems. They're not like Valve as a company ain't gonna fall for some fake DMCA. So the fact that Nintendo's gone to them to get them to remove stuff means that Nintendo is paying a lot more attention to Steam in general. So I think that's one reason why people might think this could be legit. Just because Nintendo maybe wasn't paying attention to it before.
Say it was them. Only he did.
Well, yeah, because Valve technically didn't make the game. He did. But obviously it's closely associated. I know it's closely associated with Valve. I'm
either
aware.
way.
Yeah. The only one that can prove it is them or Nintendo themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo's not going to put anything publicly on a legal sense like that. And it's up to this guy if he wants to share a legal letter or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't actually a legal letter. Maybe it was literally a Nintendo lawyer called him and he verified that it was from their legal office. And it could have just asked him kindly, like, hey, we don't want to have to go through all the paperwork. Can you just take care of this
or
shit?
Maybe
because it sounds like with Valve, the last thing that Valve took down, Nintendo didn't send them a cease and desist. Nintendo actually just called them and asked them if they would just get rid of the content so we don't have to go through all the paperwork. And Valve just said, yeah, we'll do it. Gotcha. Yeah. People actually got mad at Valve about it because it wasn't a legal thing. And people questioned if it was illegal, if Nintendo even had a legal precedent. Valve, it doesn't really matter if
it's Valve's platform.
Look, Nintendo can ask anything, and if Valve says yes,
it's Valve's platform.
It's Valve's platform. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the case of Valve not wanting to be on bad terms with Nintendo, obviously, because they do bring some games to Nintendo platforms here and there. So, and I do think that I think Valve wants to always be in Nintendo's good graces on the off chance Nintendo ever brings games to PC. They want to be where Nintendo goes to release those games.
That's smart.
Yeah. And some of the games occasionally do, like Monster Hunter Rise and stuff like that, which Nintendo doesn't own, but goes to PC through a partnership that they have with another company. So, you never really know. And Bayonetta, I wouldn't mind a Bayonetta 3 ended up on PC. Let it happen, Nintendo. But again, that's a whole
full circle from Go Heat at the beginning.
Go Heat.
All we know is that Nintendo's gonna be releasing their own metaverse soon. That's literally what's
that's what this all means.
All signs point to
giant
the Nintendoverse.
Incoming Nintendoverse.
Yep.
Hey, people have been saying that the next Mario Kart game is going to be like the Nintendo Universe game, and it's not just Mario Kart anymore. It's Nintendo Kart. It's everything. It's the Smash Bros.
I'm here for it. Games. At least Samus will get some love then.
Watch, we say that.
I will always
one character in one cart. And that is it. Not even a level, not even a race level.
Oh, please no.
Not
They-
even a stage.
If they made Mario Kart stages based on Metroid, like they do the Smash stages with all the monsters and the way that
That would be
like
sick.
you know how Bowser's like punching the track and everything. Like
Yeah.
there's
By
so
the
many
way-
cool things they could do.
I know Jakey's celebrating his birthday today. When is your birthday?
My birthday is Monday.
Okay, this
I'm
upcoming
going
Monday.
out on Friday to like celebrate.
Nice.
So basically, we should have the next cast be his birthday cast.
Stop
It's
trying to
closer.
drag him into another show after he's trying to leave. Stop it, Andres. Stop it. Besides, by then the Heat might have a 3-1 series lead. We don't need to torture him
Oh.
more.
Or it could go the other way.
It could very easily go the other way. I
I
think the same
listen,
thing with the
man.
Bucks series. It could go 3-1 Pacers, 3-1 Bucks. I have no idea what's going to happen.
If my experience with any Heat Boston series tells me anything, is that home and road games don't really matter that much.
Yeah,
It's going
we've sucked
7.
at home the last couple of playoffs. I don't. It's
Going
so
7, baby.
Great during the regular season this year, though.
I just want it to go 7 games. Beat the hell out of each other. Love it.
I just want my team to win.
Hey, the longer the series goes, the longer for Jimmy Butler to come back. He's not going to come back. He's not coming back. It'll be like Eastern Conference Finals, I think. If ever,
That's what
based on the timeline.
It's
Yeah.
apparently a grade 3 sprain, so it'll take 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's why they said Eastern Conference Finals if everything goes 7 games all the way there.
So like, it's hard for me to envision the Heat beating Boston. If that somehow magically happens,
And yet they just did it today, baby.
yeah, you got through it 3 more times though.
Yeah,
Hey.
sports. No.
Just keep the games close. Boston isn't
Yeah.
known as a closer.
Hey,
Got to
man,
get that. Got to
it
get
could
the whole
take
Jason
time.
Tatum can't close
I'm
games
probably gonna go
narrative
to
going.
Game 5.
Yeah,
Now here we go. See, this is what we got. We got all planned to go to.
Oh wait, no, Game 5's in Miami, right? I'll go to Game 6 if there's
No.
Game
Game
5
5's in Boston.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
Yeah,
go to
Game
5.
6 would be Miami
Mhm.
because you'd have home
Yeah.
court for Game 7. Yeah,
yeah.
if there is a Game 7, of course. There will be a Game 5 now, though.
Game 7.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah,
know there will be a Game 5, just like the
Cool.
Bucks. No matter what happens with the Pacers,
There will at
we
least
get
be a
one
Game
more home
5.
game. One more
Yeah.
home game. So
Yeah,
hopefully with Giannis playing, we'll see. Apparently he's not running, so that's not a good sign. He's probably out the whole. He's probably out the whole.
I mean,
first
Dame
round.
seems to be playing well though, so it seems
One
for a
half.
half.
yeah. He's good at he.
I'm going to
explode
Game
the first
5
half.
just so I can take a picture
Well, I
You
already
know,
know what's
you know,
happening.
on
I've
the-
now watched it 2 straight
on the
games.
court.
In the
Yeah.
first, and here's
Hell
what's
yeah.
happening. Here's what they're doing. I think so. The Pacers are doing something very smart in this series. Dame's awesome. He's
They're
proven that he's
pacing
awesome.
themselves.
But that's what they're no. That is exactly what they're doing. They don't want a full court double triple team blitz them all game because they're going to
They
wear
really
their own.
are the Pacers.
No, because to do that, their rotation's pretty short, so they don't want
They don't
to.
have a good defensive team.
Yeah, they're not a good defense, so they'll wear down, and they're worried about okay if we start this at the very beginning of the game and we're trying to do it all game. By the time we get to the 3rd and 4th quarter, we're tired, we're worn out, and Dame's used to this. He'll just cook us the entire second half. So what they're doing is they're actually going with more single coverage in the first half of the game. Let Dame do whatever. Trust our offense is just going to keep up. And then second half, we'll blitz the fuck out of him and he's shut down. And that's what they've done both games. They just let Dame be Dame in the first half and the second half they
Nintendo
blitz.
Prime podcast, the unofficial.
The only thing, by the
NBA
way,
topic.
the only solution to it is for Giannis to come back where it makes the blitz
Hey.
not work.
Or
NBA
we actually
2K
hit
is
our
on the
open
Switch,
threes.
all right, chat? Calm
Well,
down.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You watch Bucks even
I
when we won
know.
the championship, we weren't hitting open threes.
Yeah, if you just hit your fucking.
We just
open
need
threes.
Giannis going nuclear. Well, we don't have Giannis right now, so we might not have him at all. I've accepted after the sham report today that he can't run, that he's done. Then we're not seeing him all playoffs if he can't even run.
I remember when you were like, "Oh, he's fine. This is BS report."
Yeah, see, I'm saying that. I'm saying this, and watch he'll play Friday. So like, Shams
He's a
isn't
tough
always
guy.
known for the most accurate reports all the time, but
He's a tough guy. I mean, even if he's only like 75%, that's still
it would help.
Mhm.
If I
yeah.
don't want him to play if he actually could tear something and hurt it. But like, if it's literally just he has to be careful out there, like he can't go full sprint. I mean, look, he's seeing with the team. I don't know. I think he'll
But
play
also,
for the end of
like,
the series. But
You know,
we'll see.
what do they have to prove?
What does who have to prove?
The Bucks.
A lot.
I
Are
they
you,
won
are you kidding me?
championships
Everyone
before.
thinks they're frauds, and they are the 3 seed, and they're not favorites in their own series.
Well,
that was
then-
before
then-
they lost.
And they quote unquote have a better team than when they actually won the series. Or
And
they actually
Giannis
won
has
the
his first
championship.
ever superstar playing next to him in his entire career.
Yeah.
Well,
But my argument as a Bucks fan is every series that we've lost involved a major injury to one of our two best players since the championship year. The championship year is the only year that we didn't have an injury to one of our two
I
best
don't
players.
think you should be faulted for
No.
losing to Miami because they did go to the finals, but losing to Indiana would suck. But also, Giannis is injured.
Yeah, but they kicked our ass with Giannis in the regular season too, so it's
It doesn't
rough.
matter. Regular
Yeah,
season
we
doesn't
keep
matter.
saying it doesn't matter, and yet the Pacers did exactly to us what they did in the regular season. So they're not playing any different. We just don't have Giannis going nuclear, which is the only game we won in the regular season was Giannis hitting a career high. Anyways,
Yeah. So
neither here nor
Nintendo.
there.
So Nintendo.
Well, the reason that that's happened is because we're at the end of topic 2 and there is no other topic. Unless you guys have something you want to bring in. Topic 3 is quite literally anything else you wish to bring to the table.
You
Maybe
did
Josh,
message.
maybe Josh has something to bring to the table. I don't know. Something you
I'm
want to talk
sorry.
about?
I did think it might be kind of interesting, and I'm sure you guys have dug into it in different ways, but like,
Got my shovel.
there's everybody's like the big focus on Nintendo's right now is like what's happening. Everything's been delayed. Everything. In my mind, I think they are ramping up for the next
Say it.
like a 2017. I think they're ramping up for it.
So you think you think they're like everything is just they're silent and they're dead because everything's going to be like a 9-10 game rush next year.
That's kind of my gut feeling. I think they went into the Switch knowing they
That
were
would
going.
be so beautiful. I could deal with a slow year if we're about to have one of the craziest years in Nintendo history.
As a content creator, no. But as
As a content
fan,
creator,
yeah.
as a content creator in 2025, yes.
Mhm.
Making it to 2025 a little rough, but
I mean,
they just have to
I'm-
announce it this year, and then we can actually talk about it the whole time.
that would be fantastic.
What if we
Yeah.
have to wait till October to get any
Ugh.
footage?
So
Like-
they're going to have at least a direct before then. Please, Nintendo, give some.
Hey, did you guys see the pre-order bonus for Paper Mario in GameStop Canada?
What is it?
What is
Are you
it?
talking about
It's an extra cover that has the GameCube like it's like the GameCube cover, and it says GameCube with the half circle. It's so cool.
That's
That's
cool.
rad.
Apparently
See if I can
there's-
show that
there's a-
quick.
I don't
there's a
want to like buy it on
GameCube
eBay.
and- We're supposed to learn about 1,000 Year Door tomorrow, right? Previews are coming out.
Actually, I think
so,
somebody
yeah.
in chat just said that the Nintendo Japan just dropped something about an hour ago.
Is it Luigi's Quest?
Or is it
No,
just more
about
$1,000
about $1,000.
Is it more
Right.
footage?
Right, Luigi's Quest in 1,000 Year Door.
No.
It's a joke. I'm hoping they have new content in the game, but they have not said anything.
I feel like they would have said that earlier if they were gonna do it.
Probably.
They've not said anything until right before. We look at Magolor's Quest in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. They waited like right before.
Did they?
Um,
Okay.
Maybe if it was a remake.
It is.
That is.
Yeah.
So they did. They dropped 5 minutes of footage. Well, you know what? I'm gonna download this and we'll play it and react live during the show.
Okay.
So yeah,
I can bring something to the table. Several
Yeah, let's
things,
talk about
actually.
something until that's ready. Yeah.
I got a lot of things.
Okay. What do you got?
Well, I mean, some of it's what you've already discussed on your channel too, right? We both talked about this week how actually several people have talked about how like, hey, May 7th is the investors meeting. And last time Nintendo had an investors meeting, leading in the lead up to their, to start the fiscal year, to lead up to their next console, they announced something about that console that day. Now we already knew about the NX, we came to know as a Switch by that point because they technically announced it a year beforehand, but they gave us a release window. So maybe we might get something like that in a couple weeks,
You're back.
which would be nice to have some confirmation.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you look at how they handled Switch, and I know Switch was a very different situation, obviously, for them at the time as a company. Look, I've already put out a video as an Andres. Like I expect. I'm just gonna say it up. If Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out this fiscal year, Nintendo's gonna say something at the investors meeting.
Right.
It's just gonna be something. It won't be. It's not a reveal. It'll be a confirmation.
According to Dr. Sircon Toto, it would count as a reveal, but
Well, I mean, it is. See, here's the thing.
it reveals that it exists.
But didn't they do that in 2021 with that slide? Said Nintendo accounts are forward compatible to our next generation system. They literally said that in 2021. And they actually repeated that again at their last financial meeting, that Nintendo accounts will be forward compatible again to their next system. So they've already said the next system twice in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, haven't they already kind of confirmed they are working on something? And they just haven't
we know
confirmed
they're
when it's
working on
coming
something.
and what it is.
Next Mario's already confirmed. Next Zelda's already confirmed. I
Yeah.
don't know, but doesn't mean anything.
I don't know if I'm supposed to add Daddy Jake back in or what the hell's going on.
I don't know.
Yeah, he said he was just stepping away for a second, so I think.
Well, he can't add himself back in. That's why.
No, yeah, I think.
Are we good, Daddy Jake? I don't know.
Yeah, we're good.
You left of your own accord. I'm like, well, he can't add himself back in anymore. So I don't know what's happening. I thought, like, guys, you didn't want to see what was happening when the camera was off, okay?
He
'Cause
brought
camera was off
the
for
cuddle
you.
buddy for the show.
For me, it's a special black and white edition of Daddy Jake.
So is the video downloaded yet?
It's being handled.
So it's
That's
in
all.
progress.
It is in progress. It just finished. I got to upload it so we get the clean. I got it. How about something? Another thing to me. Well, actually, N64 Josh, what are your thoughts on like Switch 2? And do you think like there's any hope that this financial meeting could mean anything for it?
So my gut feeling with all the delays and with what we saw like of the physical games coming out of print, right, is that we're probably going to see Nintendo Selects this year, or the player's choice or something along those lines. And there's going to be, I mean, we've already seen not that long ago, Amazon had a big sale on physical games, all at $39.99. Like, it's almost like they're trying to clear the stock. And
Walmart was literally like $10 for a lot of games.
Yeah, so there's a very real possibility that Nintendo just leans into all of this, all of their past games and makes one big fun. Like, how much do they undercut this next holiday if the next Switch isn't until March, right? Or even further. Like, I mean, and like I said, like I talked about, like, I would be completely fine. We all survived the Wii U. If we can survive that, we can survive like 9 months to another year of it being a little bit dry. And then if we get to eat like we did in 2017, like, granted, we're not gonna see a Breath of the Wild, right? That's not gonna happen. But
You sure about that?
Yeah, sure.
why did you just sound like a TikTok sound? Like, what?
No, he sounded like Tim
dude,
Robinson
that is
from
one of those like
Season
sound
3.
effects on TikTok. Are you sure about that? It's a meme. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not. It's Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. I hate it when people take art and be like, "Oh, it's a TikTok sound." No.
sorry.
You should leave on Netflix. It's the greatest show ever made.
All right, Grandpa.
I'm
All
so glad.
right, all right, Grandpa yelling at the kids.
Thanks, Dad.
And by the way, I correct my kids on that kind of stuff all the time, and they get so mad at me.
I do want to address that though, Josh. When you say you don't think we'll get something like a Breath of the Wild, what do you mean? Like another Zelda game, or do you mean like?
Yes, I don't know that. You know what I think it is, and this is a debate that we've talked about a lot on my show, and I think we might even have talked about it when I was on your show, Andre. Like, is Mario Kart the next Switch? Is it the Breath of the Wild where it's going to come out on Switch 1 and Switch 2 because they have the massive install base, and it's going to get, all of us are going to be super stoked about playing,
One might say.
yeah, Mario Kart with ray tracing or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
but then they can get all those sales And especially like I mentioned earlier, if they end up with like a free to play model with multiplayer, like they've got to, there's no way that happens without all of the current Switches being able to play and have crossplay, because they need that install base unless they're gonna go to PC like Halo Infinite did, where it was Xbox and PC. But I can't, like, as much as I would love to see Nintendo put games on PC, just because I want to crank, do like ultra settings on Mario Kart or Zelda, anything like that, like they have to have that install base for that to work, I would assume. So
all right. So I think I remember your take on this. I don't personally think that Mario Kart's going to be cross-gen. I think it's just going to be, hey, it's on Switch 2. You want it? Buy Switch 2. I have been fighting the good fight for Metroid Prime 4 as the cross-gen game, because that's the last Switch game. And I've also been arguing that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be one of the most technically impressive games we've ever seen from Nintendo, at least for the Switch. So, I think Metroid Prime 4 is on the table as a cross-gen window game, right? Mario Kart can't be far off. 3D Mario probably gonna be in that equation, but I'll go further. We supposedly there's a Donkey Kong game. I don't know when it's supposed to come out, what it's supposed to come out for, but supposedly there's a Donkey Kong game, right? A couple months ago, I made a video on this. I don't know how many other people covered it, right? And I don't remember all the details, unfortunately. Check the video. But there is reason to think Nintendo's working on another Star Fox. I'm not saying that comes out next year, but it's on the table. And now something that I do think is actually falls within reasonable expectation to be a huge release next year is the next Monolith Soft game. So you look at what happened with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, best-selling Monolith Soft game, outside of when they help out with Splatoon and Zelda and Animal Crossing, right? Like their own dedicated game. I think Monolith Soft knows that they want to get out another major game in that first year of Switch. They saw the effects of getting a game out in the first year of Switch, so they're going to do that again, and this time maybe better. But also, if you look at the pattern of releases of their games, basically it's so I think Xenoblade X was 2015, 2016 was a break year, Xenoblade 2 new game, right? 2017, right? Then 2018 was DLC, 2019 was a break year, 2020 we had the definitive edition, right? 2021 break year, 2022 new game, 2023 DLC, 2024 break year, 2025 new game. Whatever it is, if it's a new IP or Xenoblade 4, one of those two, I think that's another thing to fit into
Xenogears remake. Now that Square Enix finally let Nintendo remake Mario RPG, they like remaking games. Like to remake Xenogears and actually have like the second half of the game make sense would be kind of sick.
You're not wrong.
So are you suggesting that Monolith Soft should do that, or they have someone else make that?
I would love to see Monolith Soft do it. I think they would too, and they just they don't have they don't own that.
Yeah,
IP,
they don't own the rights to do it.
Yeah, I would assume that someone else would do it, but I mean that'd be cool. I'd play it. Pretty awesome. I mean, so between
Square's doing so many themselves, I think they would be okay with Monolith Soft doing that one.
Yeah,
maybe. I'll bring up another one that Nate, you know what I'm going to say, right? Like through process of elimination, what else is left that makes sense? That's big. Ocarina of Time remake. I'm 100. Well, 100% is like not 100%, but
I'm going to say no.
You're saying no to it existing now. You're moving
not
off
existing.
Well, okay. When does it come out? That's a tough call, right? Yeah. But historically speaking, Nintendo likes to put out a Zelda game, a 3D Zelda game, something ambitious early on. But obviously, Tears of the Kingdom just came out, so what do we get instead?
Remake. Look, if it exists, I could see being year one.
Year one to year two, like
sure.
like maybe it's hard to kind of like where we put that, right?
I think year two. I think year two they'll actually have a trailer for the new Zelda game. That won't be coming out for another couple of years. But
Well, I
they
mean,
like to
if
show
they're gonna
Zelda
do a
games cut
remake,
2 years early.
if they're gonna do a remake like Ocarina of Time, like the way we're thinking, then
Well,
I
the way
think
we
they
hope.
wait
The way we hope.
the way I'm thinking. I mean, we have a couple
The way
interviews
I
where
hope, yeah, but the way I hope, I don't think it's the Zelda team doing it. I think they're
Oh.
the entire Zelda team. So it's a third party company if it's happening anyways.
yeah, but I think it would be a bigger deal than like just upscale.
Well, that's
So.
what we hope. Yeah.
They've already
Monolith. I
remastered
trust
it.
Monolith Soft to do it, baby. Let's
They've
go.
already- maybe.
They'd be sick.
Anyways,
Everyone wants Monolith Soft because they're like one of Nintendo's best development studios too.
I'll just
But
point out
they did make Xenogears. So
I referenced a couple interviews, both of which have been with the series producer Eiji Aonuma. One of them, he was blatantly asked about an Ocarina of Time remake, and he just said no comment. While
yeah. And
Right.
yet he's been asked about other ones in the past and has said no. It's not happening.
no, like he was asked about a Dungeon Maker, and he said that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sa-
exactly.
within the
Yeah,
same time.
but he
frame.
wouldn't shut down the Ocarina. Like he was given
Yeah.
the opportunity to just completely flatline that entire concept. Nope. No comment.
Reminder that back during that time, holiday last year, with the Zelda movie announced and the teasers leading up to it, the internet was on fire about Ocarina of Time remake. Like there was already a fire on the internet about it. He was asked about it, and he didn't deny it, but he denied other things. So, I mean, obviously that doesn't confirm anything, but
Alnuma
bodes
also has
well.
Alnuma also has a long history at this point of like pseudo teasing things that Nintendo's doing. And I think what happened last time, he announced at a concert that Skyward Sword HD was going to happen before it actually got approved by Nintendo to happen. And Nintendo got very mad and had to release a denial the very next day because they were not happy that he said that at the concert. And it obviously forced Nintendo to approve it for it to happen. Very clever, Alnuma. Thank you for strong arming Nintendo a little bit to get a game out Nintendo probably had no interest in remaking. And to be fair, it is one of the ones they didn't put as much work in. They just HD'd it and redid the control scheme. But I think it's fascinating that because Alnuma, that's not the only time Alnuma teased the Link's Awakening thing years prior as well. So like Alnuma has like this history of if he doesn't deny it when asked, it's probably happening. He's just not going to give you any details. That's just the way it is.
We also need something Zelda, and I'm not talking about 2D Zelda.
Just like
2D
oh,
Zelda's
is
gonna
Majora's
come.
Mask 3D coming? Well, if the fans keep asking, okay, well, it's happening.
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
he just denies things that aren't happening, and anything that he won't deny when asked, it's just like it's coming. It's just when.
Here's the interesting thing about the Ocarina of Time thing. That remake, if real, right, could line up with the timing of the movie.
Maybe, yeah. Obviously, we don't know what the plan is with the movie yet.
Yeah,
We haven't heard anything.
right. But because it's live action,
I
may
think
have a shorter development window.
Do you guys think we're going to hear anything about the
this?
Zelda movie the rest of the year?
Maybe.
Like it won't be. I don't think we'll see a trailer. I don't believe, anyways. But even just
Yeah, I don't think
news
so
on
either.
it,
Yeah. Some
like even
news.
casting or
Something.
something by the end
Maybe
of
in
the
a
year.
September direct they tell us that would actually be a pretty good sign for what I'm suggesting. If we get like the cast
Cast
confirmation
announcement, yeah.
by the end of the year.
Because
Yeah.
I can see why maybe like some people say, well, why won't they do it already? I want to be clear. The director has a massive movie coming out. They're going to steer clear until the director can be involved in the marketing. So,
Then the movie already.
it's out. Yes, it's out, but it just came out. This Planet of the Apes
Yeah.
movie just came out. So
Yeah.
like you gotta get a little distance from it, where because everything in all those interviews are focused on that.
Sure.
Once that's behind like its movie theater run, basically, I think is when. Because by the way, this is not me saying the director's not already working on it. Of course he is. He's done with the Planet of the Apes. Of course he's already working. It's just I think that he's involved in probably some
Sure.
of the cast selections. So
Half a year from now, though, I don't think it's a stretch.
yeah, September. I mean, I
Right,
think
we're not
that's-
asking for footage. We're just asking for a cast
Yeah, a
confirmation.
cast announcement would look whether people hate it or like it, it's going to light the internet on fire. We saw that with Mario.
If it's Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet, I'm not going to see it.
Did you say that about Chris Pratt too? I don't know what
No.
your thoughts were on the Mario cast. You were not.
Oh,
on the
he's
show
a
back
huge
then.
Chris Pratt fan. Don't you see the statue behind his couch? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a body pillow.
No, I was indifferent. I was like, I'll wait till I see it.
And were you impressed?
but if it's Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland, you're just out.
It didn't like remove me from enjoying the movie, so that's a win.
That's a win.
It's a win
yeah.
for him. He's not saying it was good, but I still enjoyed the movie.
No, I mean he wasn't bad. I guess I would say that was good. It wasn't like mind blowing.
Was it better than expected?
I think he
Did
was.
you have, like, really
I
low-
think other people were better. Like I think he was overshadowed, but he was fine for his role. Like he did everything he needed to do, which you can't ask for more than that.
I will
really.
also say that they, at least for me as a longtime Mario fan, they were very respectful in how they handled it not being Charles Martinet. And I think that helped a lot of fans, be more accepting of his voice when they had that opening scene with the whole father stuff going on. And the joke when he did the whole, they had him attempt to do the traditional Mario voice, and it was like a commercial thing, and then
Koopas.
yeah, yeah. I think they handled it very well in the movie, explaining why Mario might not sound like what you're used to. And I thought that also helped a lot of people accept. Okay, now we can accept why Mario sounds like Chris Pratt, because it's literally Chris Pratt. And it also felt that they weren't disrespectful to the longtime voice of Mario as well. So,
I agree.
Yeah, and fun fact, guys, the announcement about Charles Martinet being retired was about the voice of stuff.
But it's
in
also
games.
I have a much bigger problem with Timothée Chalamet or Tom Holland because it's not just a voice; it's live action.
Do you just hate those guys?
Other shit. Like I like.
You just not like them
as Link. Yeah,
a lot of people are gonna be pissed. Like the thing about
whatever they announce, it people are gonna be mad.
Link is gonna be worse than Mario because Mario is not a blank slate character. Mario's had voice lines for years, not a lot, but has had. Link, I mean, technically there's some, but and
it was animated. And it was animated versus like Chris Pratt didn't have to dress as Mario to be like, no.
This is going to be a much bigger reveal in terms of like controversy and debate. Like people are going to be pissed no matter who they choose.
Watch them choose somebody who's never acted a day in their life.
That's honestly the only way to avoid controversy. And
but it would even still be controversial because people would be like, but he's done nothing. He's literally he's never done anything. He hasn't even done Broadway.
I wouldn't hate like Jon Snow. I don't know what they'd do like with it, like in terms of
if you went with a more grisly version of like an older version of Link.
What if it's two though? What if it's a younger and an older? What if it's kind of based on Ocarina?
Like one thing we haven't considered a lot. I don't think with the Zelda movie.
Good actors.
A young Orlando Bloom would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, but we're well past that. At this point.
If there's time travel, honestly, possible.
The guy that plays Jon Snow kind of looks like Orlando Bloom when he was young. Like they've got really similar features. They both have really dark hair.
Aren't they working on a Game of Thrones Jon Snow spinoff?
Hey Jake, I got dark hair. Maybe I should be Link, even though he's blonde.
So literally anybody from House of Dragons.
Orlando Bloom was blonde as Legolas when he has literally the same dark hair.
Are they still Jon Snow? Now I want to Google like if they're still making that Jon Snow spinoff TV show because I really want it to exist. One of my favorite characters even after the end of season 8. All right. Anyways, I've had this ready for a bit. You guys ready to react to 5 minutes?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
5 minutes.
I'm ready.
Brand new footage. Straight from
Japan. Would have known.
1080p.
Let's go.
Oh, sorry. That actually was the layout I wanted.
Shit. It's in 4K.
I don't know if you guys can hear it or not.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Holy shit, it has new language.
Yeah. Oh man, looks like a remaster.
I understand nothing that they're saying. Sorry, there's no caption option when I download it.
You know, you guys don't understand Japanese? You guys are weak with your anime. They just announced the Peach is dead.
Okay. That's the thing. Like, I want the English version of the trailer. There just isn't one yet. It'll probably drop tomorrow morning.
They just confirmed that it's a remake.
Remaster.
I mean, look, it looks as good as it's looked this entire time.
They remade the definition of remaster.
I want to see the purple toad say something so I know that it's actually new content.
Yeah.
Instead of just a new background character.
I didn't play through the whole game, so I can't even be certain on what's new and what isn't.
I definitely do not like the Japanese announcer. I need
6
to,
out of 10. Too much
I'd rather
Japanese
this just be pure
announcer.
gameplay.
It's a lot of new gameplay though.
There's a lot of new, like this is they haven't shown this yet. This scene.
クッパを操作するパートもあり、一味違った冒険を楽しめる。
Well, they could be announcing new features right now, and I don't know because it's been
Yep.
so long since I
Right.
played Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in so long.
I just hope there's enough information here to actually like talk about.
Well, once the English version drops, I think there'll be a lot too.
Holy crap! There's a Goomba.
Yeah, the Japanese trailers. I know how to use the Japanese announcer thing a lot.
甲羅での体当たりが得意技。情熱的な元女優
Man,
クラウ
look at
ダ
those
は
jiggle physics.
風を起こして近くのものを吹き飛ばす。
That's what you're focusing on, huh?
It was right there in front of the screen. There wasn't much else to see.
Well, this game has, if you haven't finished it, there's quite a bit of adult humor in Thousand Year Door.
仲間の特徴を生かしながら進んでいく。
Oh, better blow that paper. Right.
Yeah, I decided not to continue down that road.
Just when you saw the wind
Yeah.
blow, you're like,
I could have, but I chose
競技
not
場の
to.
チャンピオンなど様々な
Yep, they didn't get rid of the noose. People thought they might get rid of the noose because it's not very family friendly, but they didn't.
That's good news.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
love
they got
that
rid of it. I
font.
don't think they actually cut anything in terms of the adult stuff.
Uh-huh.
その舞台はなんと劇
So many
場
puns, you guys.
Yeah.
いくつかあるコマンドから行動を選んで
There's some
戦う
great lines in this game too.
Oh God.
技を使う
He's stomping Koopas.
Oh no.
Goomba,
I can't
no!
watch. No.
タイミングよく
Ah!
タンを押し
Oh, all of them are dead.
連打で
They just lost their wings.
入力が成功
Maybe they grow back.
Mario just took a mushroom to the ass.
Dude, she just
Just
molested
made
that guy.
out with a Koopa.
観客の数もどんどん
This game is not for children.
そして観客からもらえるパワーを使ってスペシャル技を放てば敵に大ダメージを与えるなどバトルを有利に進められる
They're so cool. Eating up all these
ま
innocent
た
people.
バッジを装備することでマリオたちの使い
Yeah, the Japanese announcer thing, man, it's crazy. What is happening?
ファイヤーフラワー
I mean,
や
I know this is just battle sequences, but
マリオならではのアイテムも
I'm very curious how much of this is actually new, or maybe none of it is. I guess we'll find out.
投げてきたりと
It'll be in VG News Friday probably. Guys, any new information from this footage.
Cute.
We found a chest.
遊戯場で絵合わせや
Oh,
Sweet
and they have
gambling.
gambling.
マリオの変身を使った
Gambling. Oh yeah, they didn't remove the gambling. We already knew that from.
They were removed. Yeah, what's weird is that like the Pokemon remakes have removed their gambling. So
Yeah, there's one gambling
Different
stage
company.
in here,
フィールドで
and we already saw a screenshot or something earlier that showed they didn't remove it.
コンセプト
this
ア
game's
You guys say the volume's too loud on this thing? I can turn it down.
oh,
a bit.
concept art. This is new stuff right here, right?
I think it was Andre screaming.
Maybe.
What did I do with the stream? I broke it. I'm sorry.
Just said ouch, super loud.
I mean, it looks like there was a music player there. I bet you that's new. Oh my God! That
That
woman
thing
showed
just kissed.
mouse how to kiss.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's some beast
Where did the
reality.
mouth kiss though?
That's what I need to know. They dropped a bomb that kind of got me bricked up over here.
I just want to play this game, dude.
Dude, stop shooting those
To the moon.
cannons. You're giving me
What's
ideas.
to the moon?
Yeah, so in Japan it's just called Paper Mario RPG. Okay. Cool. So there you go. And there's me.
I'm sorry, Lily, for screaming. I'll try to scream. less
So
often.
look, here's the thing. The game looks great. I think it's very clear we don't have any experts on
In
Thousand Year
Japanese.
Door on the panel at the moment,
Or Japanese.
or Japanese speakers.
Oh wait, I understand. Should I have translated?
Yeah, live
You guys
translation.
didn't understand that?
I translated it for you. It said that everyone died.
It said everyone died.
Every scene. It was
What?
told. It was all death.
Oh, geez.
That's how you know it's a remake because they
We got a
changed
couple
the game.
super chats that I got to show here. One of them came from Jorge earlier, $10. He wants to go back to when he brought up the Universal Donkey Kong case long ago. Do you think Nintendo still keeps that in mind when relinquishing even a little control of their IP to third parties like Epic? That was so long ago. I don't really like. Literally, they work with Universal now. I don't know. Nintendo's weird.
Mhm.
I wish I could just sit in on a board meeting once just to listen and I obviously haven't translated into English because I'm not
say,
gonna.
we just watched a video. You wouldn't understand anything.
No, I'll AI. No, they have those AI devices now that can live translate into my ear. That's what I need. I'll bring that. I need a live transcriptor. Anyways, but it would be cool. I just want to understand like some of the thought process. Like, do they actually talk about these things, or is it just straight up their legal team just does whatever the fuck they want, and Nintendo never talks about any of it? I'm very curious how much of it is just the legal team makes their own decisions and Nintendo corporate just doesn't. That's below my pay grade.
Very possible.
And we had a big boy just popped up, a big $50 super chat. Thank you so much for not to 712 saying, "Hey guys, just checking in from a work thing. Jake, I will hate to not have you every week, but I will get plenty bricked up in your honor. Wishing you a healthy and happy life."
Thank you, Venatus.
Yeah, it means a lot. Thanks for supporting the show and supporting the channel like you always have as well. And I think that's probably good to kind of transition towards the end of the show. Like this is the last episode of season 2, arguably the last episode of the Nintendo Prime podcast in general before the reboot here. So there's some stuff that's going to happen. I wanted to show everyone the new logo for the show next week. Unfortunately, it's not done. So instead I will do a community post update later this week showing going over some new details on the podcast. A couple of things I want to finalize as well with people like Andres and stuff who are on every week just to make sure we're all kosher for next week because it's a whole new thing. That being said, it is the final show of season 2, the final show that we can guarantee a Jake Randall is on the show. So, Jakey boy, love you. Have any parting words for the podcast?
Do your best to keep it clean. Stay bricked up forever.
That's awesome, man. N64 Josh, where can people find you at, bud?
I'm N64 Josh everywhere. So connect with me wherever you like. Twitter,
Connect with
me.
TikTok.
You
can play Fortnite too.
You know, my Farmers Only is going strong. So, you know, you can connect with me over there as well.
Farmers Only, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, TikTok's where I do most of my live streaming. And so, you know, I guess at least for the next 9 months, we'll see what happens.
Over on what, TikTok, you said?
Yeah, because it may get banned.
Yeah. I can't stream over there. You gotta have 1,000 followers. Hey guys, go follow me on TikTok. Don't make me have to make TikToks to stream over there. Just go follow me.
Before it gets banned.
Before it gets banned.
Before it gets banned.
1 week.
It's 9 months. It's 9 months. To be clear, got a 9-month window. Because see, I want to get big over there to drive them all to my YouTube channel before they shut down. See, that's my goal.
$17 for 1,000 followers.
Or like TikTok, just be smart and partner with the company and sell off your American branch. Anyways, that's not going to happen probably, but you know, who knows? Because like Elon Musk is going to bring Vine back. Apparently, that's the thing that he's trying to do. So it's like he's hoping TikTok goes away because I'm swooping in. Like, all right, man, you do that. YouTube Shorts might become massive then, even bigger than it is potentially.
Yeah,
I don't know because it's already set up.
Inside of TikTok, they're saying just proceed as normal, guys. Don't worry.
Well, yeah. Hey, well, of course, that's what they're saying because they're like, "Oh, we'll figure this out." I'm like, "Well, look, you legally have to do something or you're gone. So sell or don't sell." I know. By the way, only gone in the U.S. By the way, TikTok's still going to exist like a whole bunch of other places.
Now watch
Just
him
not
sell.
here.
Now watch him sell to a Russian company.
Oh, no, I think they said it. I think they clarified it has to be an American company.
Okay.
So, and it's not selling. They're not asking to sell the whole of TikTok. They're not asking China to like, oh, get rid of your app and sell it completely to us. It's just the American version they want controlled. They just don't want data going to China, basically. All right, Andres.
So I just got a brain blast. Jake, it's unfortunate you're heading out. But when you come back, maybe we should have a conversation about
When, not an if.
Yeah.
A conversation.
Right. A conversation about bringing in Viagra as a sponsor for the new podcast that is called Bricked Up for Nintendo.
Yeah. There you go.
So saying there's a second rebrand coming.
Yeah.
Where we're
Or accidentally leaked
No, that's
your new show.
Yeah.
That I
yeah,
did not tell
I
you the name
haven't told
for.
them yet what
Yeah.
the name is. That's what
Yeah.
it's called, the Bricked Up Nintendo Podcast.
What if though?
And-
And if you get a sponsorship from Viagra, that would be insane.
Not even well. What's that? What's
I don't
that
see.
other brand?
I don't want to.
There's
I don't
another
want to make
brand.
content that would compete with things I already do on my OnlyFans.
Nah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
Oh.
man, I want the sponsorship. I need that money over here.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah,
to
I
say in
need-
the
I need
chat
the-
because someone was asking why you're leaving, and I was supposed to say because he wanted to focus on his OnlyFans
yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to know all the stuff about Jake leaving, he went on a long conversation earlier. It was our first topic of the stream after the what have you been playing lately section, which by the way isn't returning. So I hope you guys enjoyed that because we won't be having those conversations outside of the rare cases when it happens to be like a game that we're all playing, and so we'll talk about it. Like example, a new Zelda game comes out, the podcast after, chances are we're gonna have a topic about the very game we're playing. But anyways, maybe I can't guarantee it because there is no new Zelda game right now. So I don't know what's happening.
Maybe.
I'm getting bricked up.
Maybe.
Bro, dude, stop saying maybe. It's getting me going. Stop.
Maybe.
Stop. I'm staring at Jake as maybes are being whispered into my ear. I don't know what's happening.
Maybe.
Oh no.
Yeah, so oh boy. That all said, Josh is just like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah, anyways, yeah, I'm Andre's Restart. We're talking about Nintendo pretty much every day, so there'll be a video tomorrow. Not sure about what yet, but tomorrow this video.
Dude, I do got to shout out. That is a amazing, dude. You need to open up a new shop, Jake. They got the donut shop going, the bakery. Now I need the Jake and Bake. The Jake and Bake shop.
Jake
That
and
could be
Bake.
a double whammy shop. Come get baked in multiple ways. We got your donuts. We got your other supplements as well.
I'm sure there's several sponsored options with that
trend
too.
dance of the Snoop Doggy Dog thing. Come in and get your Snoop on.
Bro, that'd be a heck of a collab.
Anyways, Eric.
I'm here.
There you go. That's all you guys need.
Yep.
He's here as we've been staring at a projector. That's right.
Yeah.
We have a video on a projector coming up, guys. I can't tell you anything about how it looks and if it's good because it's right now on a wall that's ripped apart and doesn't look good, but I don't think it's the projector's
No,
fault
it's
at
definitely
all.
not the projector's fault.
Parts of the screen are orange. Oh, wait. We ripped off the paint and we ripped off the drywall. Whoops.
Yeah, because the channel cord channels that say they don't ruin your wall.
Totally.
When you try
don't
to
ruin
rip
your-
them off,
Yeah, those
they
sticky things you
peel
put in the
the-
back totally don't ruin your wall.
Yeah, no.
So there will be some wall repairs before I can make this video.
Someone link my OnlyFans in the chat.
Yeah, that's right. Come on. It hasn't really been brought
I mean,
up all night.
Jake, you have linking powers.
Look, we keep talking about getting bricked up. We keep talking about getting bricked up, but we gotta make sure we bid proper adieu to the 2-inch destroyer.
Yep, right.
One of the oldest running original things that Jake brought to the Stro is the 2-inch destroyer.
It looks like he's going to light with how bright it is.
Yeah, right? Yeah. The way his lighting's working, like, dude, he's going. I promise, he's not. He's not vanishing into the light.
Oh,
he's moving on to a happier life for himself right now.
Yeah, with his viral, famous success as an OnlyFans creator.
Yeah, exactly. When he talked about coming back on YouTube at some point in his life, that was to make sure that people didn't forget about his OnlyFans.
Exactly.
You want to see what he really does in private at that bakery. OnlyFans.com/2-inch destroyer.
Look up Donut Daddy on TikTok. If you want an idea.
If you want an idea.
On second thought, I may not be going to that bakery. No.
Everything's
Kidding.
made with love.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I guess it depends on
Especially
the kind of love you're
especially-
looking for.
Especially that cream pie. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week on a brand new podcast.
I love you guys.
Love you, Jake.
Bye.
Thanks for having
Baby,
me.
come back.
Baby, come back to me.